this close to giving up. How are y'all doing? I don't know. I think I'm lost, but I'm uploading some files here, and because I'm slow and didn't do this when I should have, and I've got to delete some files. I hate deleting these. Look at this. I hate that. I think I'm going to keep those two. I'm going to get rid of the other two. That's sad. I don't know what I did with them either. They're gone forever. What is wrong with me, man? I'm just having that day. I'm having that day where, you know what happened is I got a headache. Started mowing the yard. Give me a headache. And, yeah, it just sucks. It just sucks. All right, hang on a second. I got, I think 2 more files here. Upload and... Wait, where'd that one go? Is that it? All right, let's do that. And I'm going to mess up the names and everything, so you know. Don't worry about it. I suck. I know that. Guys, what's happening? It is Hump Day. Hopefully you're over it. Holy cow. White Rabbit, how you doing? Cool Gamer, what's going on? Big Guys 45s, how are you doing, sir? Squab Bob. Never get a message from you in Texas Jen. I don't think you guys like me. TR Greater X, how are you doing? No expert YouTube will not let you stream. In fact, this whole thing has been a hallucination. You're a schizophrenic state at a mental hospital. Dude, that's awesome. My dreams are about to get a lot better. Hell yeah, man. Hold on, T-Rex. We're going for a ride, man. Hey, is the name of your 18-wheeler the Pork Chop Express? Because it should be. Miami Spice. Let me tell you guys something about her. I saw the greatest news. And the news just, oh, there it went. By the way, the best soft drink. Best tasting one. If only I could get some liquid caffeine. That made no sense. But if I put like caffeine droplets in there. Anyway, Miami Spice. She will sleep easy tonight. She is done. Well, angels work. Angels work. And she has got her father a brand new, renovated master suite. It is awesome. Great day, Mom. How are you doing? Lady Autumn Sky, how are you? You know, I just realized about your avatar. It fits perfectly. I like everything about you, Lady Autumn Sky. Pass, what's happening? Good evening, the expert in chat. I thought you were a Diet Dr. Pepper fan. I am, but I switch it up every once in a while. Switch it up. So just hang in there, and you know, who knows what's next. I need to start doing tea. I love tea. Boom. She's the spice of life. Oh boy. You know what, Lady Autumn Sky? Have you ever been to Lowe's? Anybody ever been to Lowe's? We went to Lowe's. Boy, look at this, man. You can tell. At one point, I put my head down on a bunch of toilets. They were in boxes, so don't worry. They're in boxes. But I put my head down because the pressure in my eye, it was just like it was coming out of my skull. We go to Lowe's. Okay, we're going to sell the house, right? So all this stuff that we've been putting off for, I don't know, last couple of years, is now on the agenda. Like, evidently, you got to have these things done before you can sell. Anyway, trying to get like a little bathroom thingy, a little sink or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we look at this thing, find it, you know, it's on sale. That satisfies my requirement. And then, Listrin, how are you doing? Is my tagger broken? I feel like tagging at the expert somehow makes it so my comments are invisible to him lately. Did you comment? Oh, well, you know what, listener? I can't get on YouTube. So I'm actually circumventing the how you get on YouTube. And this is by going through StreamYards. I can't change anything. I can't look at the chat on YouTube. I can't change the settings for the stream on YouTube. I can't do any of that stuff because it says that I have to verify my account by going to the app that they send me the number for, and I go there and it never loads. Still don't know what I'm going to do. Still don't have an answer for it. Oh, but I forgot. The expert is on locals.locals.com. Wait, hold on. Is that right? The expert is on locals.locals.com. Boy, that sounds weird now when I say it out loud. Anyway, that was the one I kept saying. I was like, well, you know, follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Locals. And I can do like 4 live streams a month over there. Yay. I can do a few things like that. So if things go down, if I get locked out of my account permanently, which I should, I haven't done any rule breaking or anything like that. I'm getting good standing. But I still can't get access to it. So listener, it is check your Discord. Oh, guess what? I just restarted the computer. I don't have Discord turned on. That would be part of the reason I can't. There's no notifications or anything. Notifications would have to come through the phone right now, and I'm using it as a thing. Boy, I'm a hard feller to get a hold of, aren't I? For having every single platform there is, except for OnlyFans. I think I'm going to sign for OnlyFans tonight. That might be where you find me from now on. What do you think? Do you have to be naked on OnlyFans? Yeah, how are you doing? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what's happening with YouTube. Madcore, how are you, sir? Is the app updated? Yes. Last night I deleted the app and then reloaded it today, and it's still doing that. You know, it won't. It pulls up. I've got a picture of it on my phone. It pulls up, and it's got just the circle just going around. I don't know what to do. But yes, I am. What'd I do? Oh, hard to get a hold of. I gotta keep a hold of this chat here. You guys are awesome. Let's see your Madcore. Sign out of the Google account on your phone, then sign in. It'll get you verified then. Well, that seems awfully simple. Yeah, we'll try that one. That will be what I try after the show. If it doesn't work, I'll send you a message. If it works, I'll send you a message. Madcore, how are you doing, brother? Man, I've missed you. I just haven't... Our schedule, man, we haven't been hooking up. We need to... I need to get everything set back up. And I want to start doing some gaming. The new Zelda game's coming out. I'm getting very excited about that. And it's a... big deal. Same, this happened to Zoe's iPad. Should delete the app and re-download and sign in. Then she could use the app. Yeah, so I deleted it, re-downloaded it, and I thought it was odd because I was signed in as soon as I downloaded it. So what I'll do is I will sign out. Well, first I'll sign out, then sign back in. Then I'll sign out all the way across the board, delete it, and then bring it all back. I did a hard reset on the phone. I did all that stuff. It sucks. It just doesn't like me right now. Hey, Wolfkinder, how are you doing? Anyway, besides all that, so let's see here. Oh, wait, hang on. I still haven't gone over to... Wait, where's my cursor? How do I do... Oh, there it is. Listern. There you are. Okay. Oh, yes, Listern. I did see this. Guys, this is... Listern wants to... Oh, wait, it's moving. All right, guys, you got to check this out. This is cool. This is what I love about you guys. You find cool stuff like this. Okay? Now, this is going to be... You guys got to tell me what's happening here with this. It's school holidays at the moment. Hang on a second. It's school holidays at the moment. We need to hang out together soon. Back to normal next week. I'll be back for... Dude, let me tell you what. It's so funny you say that, Matt Core. I said the exact same thing earlier tonight. I told White Rabbit, I said... I'm stressed out. I don't know why. I don't like things. And by the way, I'm watching back here. This is the tornadoes in Oklahoma. So we got that's going on too. So I am. So if something happens big, you guys can. Hopefully I don't miss this. But anyway, I said, you know what I think I'm just gonna do? I'm gonna hammer down. I'm gonna just go so far into just content and everything else. I was like, I've got so much stuff I could do. I want to get into name escapes me, but it's on Twitter. Spaces. We've done that before. Man, it was so much fun. Hung out with the Angels over there, and just it's a fun thing. We just hang out together. But I want to get some people on there. Kind of do like a consistent co-host thing. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Anything to put out some more stuff. Miami Spice sent a very cool video today. Melissa Jane's finally gotten 400 subscribers. She's been trying for this for a long time. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you doing? Yeah, so I've been waiting for that. I missed it, it looks like. Twitter Spaces is fun. Yes, so this was Miami Spice. So Melissa Jane, she got to 400. She got to like 409. And then it dropped down to like 401, maybe down to 400. Now she's back up to 401. Anyway, it's very frustrating. Big Guy's 45 that's here. He knows what it's like. Miami Spice sent a TikToker. This guy's a stand-up comedian. And it was a great little video about how you just keep putting out that content. And then when that hits, then everything starts hitting from that. It's amazing. And so like this guy, he's a comedian. He's using TikTok to sell himself, right? And he was just kind of like, I'm kind of down on it, all this other stuff. But finally it worked, and now it's launched his stand-up comedy career better. And I was like, yeah, you know, that's the thing. It's like I've got a lot of time that I'm not using appropriately. And that's where I want to get on to Twitter Spaces. Miami Spice, when can you start doing it with me? That sounded bad. Thank you, Grandma's house. Grandma After Dark. Everything now's an innuendo. It used to not be. Remember when it used to be a pure and innocent channel? And then Grandma came and ruined it for everybody. Never done Twitter Spaces. Dude, it's like a talk radio program. It's really kind of cool. I don't know. The thing that Miami Spice, what I was talking about that stand-up comedian, is making me rethink my approach to stuff. Because my approach originally was that if you should be paid for your time. So you should be on platforms that are paying you for your time. You get to that moment. Because that's a measurement of success. That's a measurement of how good you're doing and everything else. Now I'm kind of thinking, wait a second. That may not be the best thing. Maybe you need to kind of just branch out and find people. Twitter Spaces has got some, like today there was an open chat. I don't know who it was that was doing the chat. But it was about Robert Kennedy coming out saying he's going to run for president. And you had Good Logic was in the audience listening. It shows who all's listening. I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, I didn't think he would be just like hanging out here, listening about Bobby Kennedy Jr. running for president. She made it better. Be nice. What made what better? Did I miss something? Oh, you need to work on the watch hours. What does it take to go viral? Ask Madcore about that. Madcore and it's just that one hit, man. He got the guy sees YouTube in ones and zeros. That's why he doesn't have to constantly be around. Dude, what is happening, man? I'm being stream sniped. Hey, rock and roll, rock and roll. There used to be something about that. Oh yeah, the only problem that with stream sniping is I would hope I'm pretty safe. You know, I try not to be raunchy. This won't be like a drive-by tallywhacking like I had a few weeks ago. So you're good to go. Makes you go viral. Red Bull gives you wings. Anyway, so listener sent this. Check this out. Small batch. I swear that looked like it said Mel Milk Honey. It's weird because on Melissa Jane's stream earlier, she was talking about almond milk. But this is camel milk and honey vodka. Camel milk. Oh, look. They have soap. Like, everybody has soap. But camel milk and honey vodka. Well, hold on. My what? Melissa in Greek means honeybee. Melly in Greek is honey. Do you get called Melly? That's kind of cool. Because you know what's funny is like we call people like honey. Like honey. No, it's like, hey, honey. Hey, honey. So I'd be like, hey, Melly. I think, hey, honey kind of sounds better because Melly is one letter away from, hey, Smelly. Nobody wants that. Oh, there's dude. Yeah, this dude, the other night, I asked him if he'd come on. If we could interview. And as soon as I did, wait, hold on, that's the wrong one. Where am I going? What am I doing with all this? There we go. Yeah, this dude back here. What? Jedi tricks. I've been working on them. Be gone.
I heard a hey honey and I thought you needed a scare.
Did you see that there's camel milk? Did you see that Melly in Greek is honey?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I also said, hey, Smelly.
I'll come to that too.
Okay. Love you, baby. Oh, she's my honeybee. What? Camel's milk vodka. It'll put a hump on you. Oh, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. So this back here, there's no red. See that? I'm not worried about the tornadoes until we start seeing red. Well, hey, listener, thank you so much for... Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see here. Am I missing anything else? Yeah. Hang on a second. Listen, do you still have time? Or do you want to do it, you tell me. So, Listern has been watching the Valo trial. Have you guys seen that? It's, where'd she go? Hold on. Oh, where's my stupid cursor? Wait, hold on, that didn't work. There we go. Have you booby trapped your room? It sounds like the white rabbit tripped in there. Boy, those earphones are good, aren't they? So, no, it's not. Just stuff got moved around. I had, like, I couldn't remember anything today. You know what? I'm just going to stop there because that sounds bad. Okay, there's some bad things. That was, like, some purple areas. But no, it's not like that kind of, like, can't remember anything. And by the way, I feel like the white rabbit right now. I feel like my head's gotten really big. How did this? Did she put a curse on? Did she voodoo my stuff? Yes. If we're still here, yes. Take your time. We can do it tomorrow if you want to. Just let me know. We could do it Twitter Spaces too. Because I want to do one. I don't have any content for it. The Madcore show. That is awesome. So is this the new? Is this the new you? I like that actually. I do. As much as I like the Madcore Mofo, I think the Madcore show, man, it works for the algorithm stuff. You gotta be FCC. Well, you guys don't have the FCC. But anyway, it's got to be compliant for all the advertisers and stuff to go up in there. We're seeing that more and more. Yeah, I know. It's bell shaped now. Yeah, I think so. We've done it before. Had Miami Spice and White Rabbit, Texas Gin, and did you come in too on Twitter Spaces? All it is you need to come on. Are you on Twitter? That might be the first question. Do you have a Twitter? Listen. Anyway, guys. Yes, look at this. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Add to stream. Boom. Camel milk and honey vodka. I love that. I love that. For all the camels out there. Did you know? Oh, wait, yeah, that was a trivia question the other day. Did you know that China imports camels from Australia? I'm a little dizzy. Where am I? Oh, red lights, spots. A little bit more proactive over here on this side of things. Can you live stream and do Twitter Spaces at the same time? Yeah, it's all about standing out more and getting the algorithm to not block Mofo. Yes. Okay, that's two things. I do not. I mean, you can if like you're on your phone for Twitter Spaces and you've got your computer for live stream. Which, by the way, do you have TikTok, Madcore? Because they do live streaming now, and I thought, how cool would it be to have TikTok doing live stream, like in a different location, like like put the phone like over here. But see, it messes up because I use my. Did you guys hear that? The Bell Witch fell off her broom. Because I use my phone for a camera. But yeah, man, it's all about like you said, standing out. So that look, what guys, this is so awesome. But we've got to keep growing, and we've got to keep going further and further. And this I want everybody to grow, and we'll just. Oh wait, Clumsy's here. Wait a second, where'd Clumsy go? I saw White Rabbit say, "Clumsy, thank you." See, I don't see Clumsy. Oh, wait a second. There's multiple things. Did you give a membership? See, I can't see that. I can't get on my YouTube. Clumsy, thank you so much. Guys, oh, by the way, Clumsy, I want you to know last 2 nights, I've just been sitting back. I didn't say hi or anything to you. I've been listening. I came in. I was like, well, actually, it might have been 3 nights. I might have been embarrassed one night because I was like, I shouldn't be awake. Is that not sad? I'm going to start sending you a message, like on Discord, and say, hey, I'm just sitting here listening. Because I want you to know I'm there, but, hey, what's this dude doing? Is he out looking for gas again? Anyway, yeah, I felt like I was being sneaky. Grandma must be thinking about me. I hope she is. Anyway, so we got tornadoes. That thing, we're waiting on them to form. Listeners got the camel vodka. We've got a Valo. How do you say it? Valo? It's a crazy case in Idaho. I think it's Idaho. Pretty sure. Wait, Clumsy is like Santa and knows you're there. Why is this sticking up? Look at that. Embarrassed. Why? No, I'm embarrassed telling you this. I was just like, well, I'm like sneaky over here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Whatever. I'm losing it. Okay, so guys, you know what's funny is there's all this news stuff happens, and then I get to a point where I'm like, do I want to talk about that anymore? I don't know. Yeah, I do. Hold on, what was the thing that? What was there was got that one? Oh. So I had to shut down all my tabs to restart, trying to get the YouTube thing going. It didn't work, but give me a second here. Let's see if I can find this. Rack. Oh, cool. Well, it's not really cool, but Oh, it's New York Post. So that's good. I like New York Post. They're just easy to read. Isn't that weird? All right, guys. So let's do a little bit of news here. Let's do a little bit of Hump Day. We're gonna get over this because here's the thing. I'm setting up a narrative. There's a bunch of crazy happening right now. I'm starting to notice that. Do not let me forget about China, because that's where all this is going to lead back to. It's a very, very, very weird connect the dots. Okay, I have a really bad headache today. I just want you guys to know that. So if I seem really weird, with this connected dots thing, if I start saying 3, 6, and 9, if you start seeing those numbers combined, then there's all sorts of things going on. But I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen yet. But here's what I want to show you. So California, all right. Oh wait, there's another one too. I just thought about California. Gavin Newsom tweeted. The governor of California made a tweet about the state of Tennessee. Tried to shame our legislature for not confiding to their idealistic gun laws. That's what this is all getting to. For some reason, everything has gone to this, like, we're going to start attacking all these laws now. We want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do that. I'm like, what else is happening? What's happening that nobody's talking about? But anyway, why is Gavin Newsom talking about it? Look, dude, Newsom, I know you listen to the show because you want to be cool. Here's the thing, man. The state of Tennessee, the rules for the legislature, you have to have all legislation in by like the 1st of February. So there's no new legislation that's going to happen unless there's the governor calls a special session, which is not going to happen because they're in session right now. So they can't even constitutionally do it. So all this stuff, all the protesting and all that other stuff, you guys are just giving, you know what, Nashville's getting what it deserves. Because Nashville has always, I'm not a big fan of the history of Nashville. Do you know that Nashville had to legalize prostitution? That's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that later. All right. We'll talk about that on a different thing. Go to Locals. The expert is on locals.locals.com, and that's where I'll put up a thing about Nashville and prostitutes. That sounded bad. Anyway, so check this out. Very bad situation here, right? California is stabbing. Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm not monetized because they've taken away. So like, there's no ads. There should be no ads running. If there's ads running, let me know. Which is, you know, it's weird. It's a catch-22. If I was really big, I would not do I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I'd hate to take I hate to be stupid. All right. There we go. So take all the stuff out. You guys are not on my page. What happened to it? I swear I did it right that time. I swear I did it right. Okay, what I did was this is the reader view of the New York Post, okay? So, California stabbing suspect allegedly plows car into students. 24-year-old. I'm like, oh, it's so interesting. They always put the age of the person, of the suspect or whatever, you know, whoever they're talking about. I'm like, does that matter? Because I'm pretty sure that nowhere in any of the laws that say, well, if you're this old, it doesn't matter. Anyway, is accused of intentionally plowing his vehicle into a group of high school students, KIAing one and injuring two others after he went Michael Myers on an employee at a Walmart. The mayhem began in Simi Valley, where police responded to an assault in progress at the Walmart store at 2:40 p.m. This guy, like, you know, I don't know about y'all. I don't know how California does it. But in Tennessee, usually our crazies, they usually get to drinking first. 2:40 is a little early for that. You know what? I take it back. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not too early. Usually it's safe to go, hey, just Dawn's here. To be Flair, how are you doing? Levy, what's happening, man? No, dude. Madcore is even told me how to do it now. So I took off the app. Took all the YouTube apps, by the way, off. Brought them back. Went back to it. Did a stream. Nope. Will not. It just sits there with that circle spinning. Madcore says to sign out of everything YouTube first. And then delete it. And then bring it up. Because you know what's funny is when I brought when I re-downloaded the app, I thought it was weird because it was signed in for me. I was like, that's interesting. So it didn't, like, I make the physical trait of signing out. And this is not, I almost said this is Jeopardy, but that's not how it goes. This is not real. Where'd my thing go? Thank you, Squab Bob. So that part of it is working. Thank you so much, Squab Bob. That reminded me also, and this is something else. I want to thank you, Squab Bob, again. You didn't realize you were this is an unintended consequence. So the Russian, the Moscow singing video deal, stream is completely taken down. They took it down. And it says it's not a copyright strike. I'm like, boy, I gotta stop aggravating these people. You can only aggravate them so much before they're gonna finally just say, you know what, you gotta stop. Squad Bob's got a point, y'all. Squall Bob was probably the deepest thinker, intellectual I've been around, and you guys need to listen to him. He's got a point here. Oh, I bet they're sitting over there just if anything Russian goes up on YouTube, they're just like over there like hitting like, oh, it's a copyright claim or not claim, but it's yeah, claim. Anything. Oh man, I bet you $1. There's somebody there that's part of their ministry of infernal affairs or something. All right, let me get through this real quick because this is odd. Let's see here, 3:15 p.m. Finally struck. Yeah, okay. Two girls, aged 15 and 16, were also hit before the car flipped over. There's the car. I mean, that's just. Oh man, I didn't see that. Okay. I'm just gonna skip through some of that stuff there. The suspect, identified as Austin East, was charged with murder, attempted murder, attempted robbery, resisting an executive officer, burglary, and 2 counts of exhibiting a firearm in a threatening manner. That's funny. He had a firearm, and he went all Michael Myers. So, anyway, this sucks, right? This is a bad thing. Guess what? It's not getting attention because it was a knife, just like Idaho. Weird, I thought. Lady Autumn Sky, thank you so much. Sorry, I saw there's still stuff going on back there, and I was like, wait, I didn't have this up there. Thank you, Lady Autumn Sky. And by the way, while that was playing, I happened to look up here. Honey, are you okay? The stairs were there to catch the fall? That's not cool. So I was down there talking to my rabbit. She said, Levy gifted memberships. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Levy. Dude, again, we gotta get together. Man, I'm okay, so I can't even think straight right now. I'm sorry. Toy Box Brain, what's up, brother? Butter? Did I just call you Butter? What's up, Butter? So, what happened is the White Rabbit. I love her to death. She grew up doing ballet, you know, like I guess everybody does it. I don't know. I didn't do it. And you know, she's like one of those, like, I can stand on one foot like a toucan or whatever those birds are. And the problem is she's a little off kilter sometimes. And I'm always grabbing for her. I pull her back. It's a weird thing. We don't even talk about it. It's just like, I don't know. I just like always know when to put my arm out for her and stuff. And she just said, you know how I get off kilter sometimes and I kind of wobble. She goes, this time you weren't there to catch me. So the stairs did. I am not laughing because I think it's funny. This is a nervous laugh. Hey, Crafting Emily, how you doing? You know, it's funny. I looked up and I thought it said belly dancers. For one split second, I thought it said belly dancers. After I pulled the comment up, I read it as ballet dancers. After I pulled it up, I thought, yeah, right here. I love the flamingo. That's awesome. Oh, so you're a turkey. Are you a so what's that? Are you a stuffing guy or a dressing guy? By the way, Toy Box, White Rabbit looked up the punchline to your joke the other day. Oh, more?
Oh, I didn't know if you said anything about the 5.
Yeah, you told me downstairs.
But I don't know if you said it on there.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry.
No, that's great. Thank you. Because I can't see it. She was just telling me to thank Levy again. Yeah, she did. She looked it up. And I was like, oh. Yeah, White Rabbit fell. And I left you in charge when I left. That's it. From now on, Toy Box Brain's in charge. Where was I going? I don't even know. California. Okay, yeah. So then I had another one. There's a dude in Texas. These cheerleaders, they pull up to in his parking lot. Like a Walmart or something like that. A girl gets out of the car, and she goes over to his other car. You know, she's with her friends. I don't have the story pulled up. Sorry. Anyway, she goes to pull up and, open the door, thinking that she's getting in her car. She may have sat down in the driver's seat and looks over in the passenger seat is a dude. She's like, I don't know what happens. She gets out of the car, goes and gets back in the friend's car. Dude gets out of the car, walks over, starts pew-pewing into the car full of cheerleaders. No word that I saw you trip. That's how you follow up. Usually. No word that I have seen so far. Hey Deb, how are you doing? That on the legal status of the Pew Pure. The name and mugshot would make you think, oh, I wonder. Unfortunately, because we're in Texas somewhere. No word on that, though. That's a pretty scary thing. I mean, that's pretty scary. I mean, okay, so like my Walmart. Okay. Well, maybe the Walmart's. Maybe we shouldn't go to Walmart. Maybe that's what I'm realizing now. Okay, I got one Walmart where a person was. I got one where a person was murdered in the parking lot. No idea who did it. I'm like, Walmart's got great cameras. Walmart's been sued so much that every single square inch of their property is under surveillance. Every square inch. There's nowhere in the store except for the bathrooms. Supposed to be. There's nowhere in the store or outside of the store that Walmart property where they do not have you on camera. I'm just saying, if you're dressed as a wholesome, non-threatening young girl and get shot, you're screwed if you're anyone. People are savage. Yes, very much so. But there's no protest. There's nobody in Nashville protesting over this. I assumed after the California wreck, carnage we just saw, that they'd be going to California to protest that now, right? Protest stabbing and driving. I don't know what words I can say. You can see I'm conditioned myself to a certain way. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm still on the tubes. But anyway, so that was another one. Let's see. There was the California, there was the Texas, and then what I wanted to get to. Yes. So this, I want to get into this one a little bit more because this one's starting to bother me now. Gotta look it back up, all the stuff. All right, this is. Okay. Just want to make sure I had the article. This is what I saw earlier, I think, that I wanted to share. So, have you guys been following the Kansas City, Missouri disaster? This one gets me. I'll tell you why this gets me. Because you shouldn't come to a conclusion before all the facts are known. There's something that's going on. Maybe I'll save this for a little bit later. Let me just go over some of these things. Hang on a second here. I used to go to Walmart in El Paso. I lived there as a kid. This might have been that one. Here you go. Thank you, Great Dane Mom. Pedro Rodriguez has been charged with the conduct of third-degree felony, police said. Okay, yeah, so he didn't, there's no cause of action. I mean, why'd they do this? Why'd this guy do this? Just like, I'm going to get out of the car, walk around to these cheerleaders, but none of them died. That's the positive here. I got to get over my fear of what I say. Why did I hear this in Valhalla's voice? Hey, Charlemagne. How you doing, babes? You wearing a tank top? Oh, I love Valhalla. To be fair, they invest in cameras as part of their risk management. They reduce incidents of payouts by covering their butts from potential lawsuits, especially fake slip and falls. Yeah, that's where I found all that stuff. Actually, it was. I'll have to think about it. I don't remember the facts behind the case, but there all of a sudden started noticing a pattern in law school of these Walmart cases, and it was like Walmart got sued for a sexual assault in a vehicle in like the back of the Walmart, and it had nothing to do with Walmart, just a car, yeah, average everyday sexual assaulter grabs somebody walking down the street, one of those type things, puts them in the car, goes to behind the Walmart and attacks them. And anyway, it was like Walmart's like, not our fault. We didn't do anything. And it was the judgment went against Walmart because it was like, yeah, you didn't do anything, but you do have quite an attractive area. And one of the things that Walmart does, and they're known for this, is that they invite people to camp. You can spend the night in a Walmart parking lot. Don't take my word for it. This is everything I've heard. And I've seen enough campers. I mean, we're talking about full-size RVs in Walmart parking lots they allow it to happen. Let's see here. Oh, Jim No Filter entered the chat. She was with cool person. I'm not gonna say the name. I like the nickname. Jim No Filter. I love the nickname. All right, so this happened. This is Kansas City. For y'all, those of y'all that don't know, this is an 84-year-old homeowner. Okay. They arrested him. They put charges against him because a 16-year-old was supposed to go. That looks like a hurricane. And that's a tornado warning. I'll be checking that out in a second. Anyway, he was supposed to go pick up his twin brothers. Mom gives an address. I forget. It's the same. All this is circumstantial. I don't even know any of this. I don't know how this narrative got brought up or anything else. All we know for a fact is, and this brings me back to this is like Gabby Petito. This is what aggravated me about Gabby Petito, is that it started going on all this it's all this is that. We don't have the facts. If you just stick to the facts, don't mess around with anything else. So anyway, it's like this guy, he's 84 years old. At 11 o'clock at night, this 16-year-old starts ringing the doorbell, He's like, who the hell is here in my house, whatever. I'm adding this. I'm having a little liberty because this is entertainment. He grabs a gun. I looked up the gun he had. It's like a 32 Smith & Wesson revolver. This thing's the guy's 84. This gun was probably 84 when he got it. I mean, this guy did not grab his, I don't know. We got to come up with a new word instead of AR-15. We got to come up with something else that the media will hate. Uzis used to be a big one, or Glock. Everything's Glock. So everything's a ghost gun, whatever. He grabs his pew-pewer. What's Han Solo's DL-44? He grabs his DL-44, and he goes to the door, and he sees this guy's there, and supposedly he goes pew, and then he goes pew again. First one hits the kid in the head, grazes his head. It's got to be right. Second one in the arm. He was in the hospital. I saw him today on Twitter. He's out. His part still looked fine. But here's what happened. The district attorney said, this looks racially motivated by the homeowner. Why would a district attorney say that before there was an arrest or anything like that made? So from that, oh, they released, of course, the information like where the guy lived and everything. His house has been egged. It's been spray painted. There's been protests out in front of his house. They've been doing all this stuff. This guy's 84 years old, right? Well, he was arrested today. He pled not guilty. And we have the probable cause statement. And that's why I want to go over this. Why do I have a pool noodle? It's the springs and stuff that are in here. Try to silence them. I got really obsessed with having a silent area, and the dead rat is winking. Hello. Hi. Oh wait, this guy's probably like French, like oh, hello, Jim with no filter. How are you? Did I lose my light? There you go. Oh, my sorry, oui, it's me. I don't have much of a gimmick. Oh, Valhalla. It's Valhalla's Merkin. Anyway, sorry, rabbit. White rabbit. Um, yes, I love you guys. Oh, no way, I got limited? Ah, there we go. I got one more here to pull up. Sorry, I didn't see that, did it? So, dude, homeowner dude is, no, don't remove it. Sorry. This guy, okay, so, what? My volume is down. What do you mean my volume is down? What are you saying? Can't hear me. It's not muted. What do you mean? Hello? Why is there no slight volume? What happened? No, I haven't touched a thing. Well, I was fondling it. Is it working? Something. I'm trying to test this. I'm trying to get something to work here. What is happening? I mean, I can hear myself. How loud is it supposed to be? I don't know. What about now? Hello? Can you hear it? I'm at max. I didn't break it. Wait. Hold on. It's not coming through here. Is it working? Nope. Can you hear me now? You can't hear me? Nothing's happening? Yeah, I see my little voice thing. Oh my gosh. I'm falling apart here. Okay, so now we're going through the ear pods, which sounds weird to me. Holy cow, man. You know what? I mean, I'm ready to just give up. I'm not even, this doesn't even show them. Oh, jeez. You can hear me now? I can hear myself? Holy moly. Grandma's house, how are you doing? Finally says hi to me. I've only been talking about you all night. Oh man, hang on a second here. So, okay. I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore. Thank you. Thank you guys for telling me I'm back. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you guys are awesome. I have no idea. Like, I've now unplugged the rack. This is what happens. Oh, great. Now I move that. It's that thing's fault. It's all that thing's fault. Holy cow. Get out of here. I really want to know what it's like to be a professional. I would love that in my life. Be like, yeah, yeah, you know what? I'm a pro. We'll just go with this, and I come up, and everything's perfect. Instead, I just constantly feel like Bill O'Reilly. You know when Bill O'Reilly did that thing, he's like, ah, what did I like? That's what I feel like. Oh, I thank you. Look at this. I couldn't stay quiet while you were floundering. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bahala, yeah, hearing his voice. Grandma's house. Hey, babes. Are you wearing a tank top? Oh, yeah, it's good to want things. It is. It is good to want things. Yeah, I'm possessed. I'm possessed. I'm the possessor. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, real quick now, because I've messed everything else up. Andrew Lester. That's this guy right here. He's 84 years old. This guy, and now I saw the prosecutor, the district attorney, and he was like, "Oh, it's racially biased." It's like, what? This guy put up a trap? I mean, do you have like, I don't know. Like, like I feel like it's Wile E. Coyote. He's trying to get the Roadrunner. He's like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna get me a little whatever race I'm after, kid." I mean, right? This guy right here, he's happy to make it through an entire episode of Matlock. I mean, this is not this guy. If this guy mows his own yard, that's his pride and joy. This is not a dude who's out there setting up traps to catch the youth of society. I mean, what? I'm like, this DA, man, this is a crime. And by the way, this guy back here, that is not a throb cop. Look at that hair. Oh, dude, man, I'm so sorry, bro. Anyway, yeah, it's Lester. What's his name? Andrew Lester, 84. That's him. What's that? There's his mugshot. There he is. This guy. I mean, come on. So I mean, there's a lot of questions, you have, and there's going to be more about this going on because it's all, we got to do facts here. Let's go back and do facts. And we ought to do this after I start reading this probable cause thing because this thing is crazy. But the experts from the future, yeah, the I told the AI in 2029 that I wanted to build a time machine for me. That's how I got back here. So, by the way, the weather's great in 2029. Al Gore still gets it wrong. Um, it's anyway, this guy, and so of course, then this kid, good looking kid, right? They find the picture. Look at he's playing the saxophone. He's got his Corona mask. Everything's right. Well, never mind. This kid's now 6 feet tall. I mean that doesn't matter, but still, let's see what the next picture. There he is. And here's, I mean, uh, there's nothing bad here, but we don't know what was happening. Picture, oh yeah, there's some good pictures of Ted Bundy. Women thought he was really hot and cool. No, not. So you gotta get to the facts. You can't get out there and spoil the judicial system or it ruins it for everybody. And what gets me is that there's riots and protests over this now. This guy kid's entire high school skipped class. Now, what does that sound like? Nashville, doesn't it? Nashville, all the schools, they skipped class to go protest. Now they're in Missouri. What's in Missouri? Joplin's in Missouri. Oh, the University of Missouri, they had some problems. Yeah, it's like, why are you guys trying to do this? What's happening here? I got to hurry up so we can go back to this thing. Anyway, um, so he was released from the hospital Sunday. So this is okay. Now this is the 84-year-old's house. All right, this guy he does mow his yard because you know what? That is an impeccable lawn. I mean, look at that grass. There is. I mean, look. There is. It's perfect. It's got the lines. Look, it's long, but it's short. This is a type of grass I want to. I want to take my shoes off and walk on. My dogs would poop right here. They'd be happy. That's all this 84-year-old dude does. I mean, you can just tell it. Um, Lawn service. Yeah, I mean that's what I need. Yeah, that's good grass. You got me again. Oh my gosh, Emily, I've missed you. I really have, Emily. But anyway, yeah, no dog pooping in the front yard. My dog does now. So, let's see what's the next one. Yeah, this is people are they're egging in the house now. I mean, come on, y'all, really? Like that's gonna do everything, right? Now on Twitter, they've called this guy. Hang on, because I saw this earlier. Was that this guy right here, is the epitome of the face of evil, and what else they say? Something else I forget. I put up a tweet today about the story I just told you about that where the guy in Texas shot at the cheerleaders in the car. I tweeted that. I said, "Oh, meanwhile in Kansas, this guy he's all over the news, but this happens in Texas and you don't hear anything about it. Why?" And I forget, man. Anyway, somebody comes in immediately. He's like, "He was a monster." Talk about this dude right here. I'm like, this dude, man. Again, is he setting traps? I mean, I don't know. I'm laughing at. It's horrible that this kid got shot. Thank God he's alive. All right. I hope he lives the best life anybody can have. But at the same time, there's something going on with the narratives right now. I can't explain it. I don't know. I just don't like it. Um, there was something else I was gonna say. There's something here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, and then we'll get out of here. We'll go do some storms. All right, have some fun. And actually, guys, I would hate to tell you this. This is fun to me. This is old school. I'm getting back to the facts of stuff. I'm Look. We can't have fun if all of a sudden somebody comes out there and they're blaming. I mean, dude, everything is not this dumb narrative that has been started. Okay, how about this? This. I'm from Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee. This is a very common thing. This is upsetting to us. We're talking about like all this Nashville stuff. It's all because of the Covington shooter deal. How about this? They've said there's a manifesto. Why aren't they releasing that? Now all of a sudden, oh well, we had to get it to the FBI. Well, you did make a photocopy of that before you pass it on. You're very forthcoming at the beginning, but now all of a sudden protests have started, and you got real quiet about it. Is there some things that we need as a public to understand, or are you just trying to push this thing that you're going to get some sort of agenda passed? Um, yeah, Libby. That's the other thing. I was thinking about that. It's like we've been conditioned to stay inside. We've been conditioned to be afraid of an unknown enemy, the virus. We've been conditioned. I mean, unknown being like you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, but it's an enemy that's there. You watch TV. I mean, checking convictions. Look at her. She's in uh, she's close to Minneapolis. She talked about how during the George Floyd stuff, how there were helicopters flying over her house. She's like, look, I'm not next door downtown. She said that they were busing people in to the suburbs, causing problems. She said this wasn't reported. It's crazy. Listen to her tell us this stuff. Um. Oh, just Dawn. Thank you so much. I did not know this. I did not know this. That's just not cool, man. Going by and harassing and stuff. It's 11:30 at night. Yeah, it was. Um. Well, White Rabbit's evidently read the stuff, so let me go ahead and get into it before I start answering her comments. All right. So first part of this. He was a. Let's see here. How do I blow this up? It's a violation of Missouri Code 2. Um, I love that the officer, that's how he signed it. All right. So on April 11th, at approximately 21:52 hours, Kansas City, Missouri, officers located a male victim later identified as PY. What's the guy's name? Oh, I've forgotten it. The kid. Yarl's the last name. I'm sorry, Yarl. Yarl. Uh, Also, were contacted by a party who called on one. That's a neighbor of this uh, Andrew Lester guy. Said that they heard banging on the door, and then that's why they called the police. So officers were contacted by a party who called 911. They believe the person who was shot at 1100 is the address. Officers approached the address and observed the front storm door glass shattered, with a man standing inside the residence. Officers gave the male, later identified as Andrew Lester, verbal commands to exit the residence, and he complied and exited the rear of the residence. Um, yeah, which is smart. They like, hey, it's uh, um, don't spoil the evidence. Lester provided written consent to search his residence. So this guy said, "Yeah, you can search my house," and he wrote it out. You write it so you have more of a cognitive, um, you have a more understanding of what you're doing. Does that make sense? Uh, Instead of like just going, yeah, sure, you can search my house, because houses are they're they're the most protected areas of a search warrant. Um, he provided written consent, and then he was taken to the police precinct where he provided a statement. Approximately 10:45, Detective Green and I responded to 1100 North 1500 or 115th in regard to a shooting. Upon arrival, I contacted Officer Dunaway at the scene to provide me a consent to search form. His residence. I observed the front storm door glass broken with blood on the front porch. I observed the blood on the driveway. I observed cameras on the south and east side of the residence. I also observed blood in the street and front. So what happened was the kid was shot and went to like a neighbor's house, asking them to call for help. Um, a witness was interviewed. So this is a neighbor. Was interviewed at approximately 11:50, 21:50 hours. What's that? 9:50. They heard an unknown vehicle pull into the driveway of 1100 Northeast. The witness thought it was odd for their elderly neighbor to have a visitor this late at night. The witness stated a short time later they heard two to three gunshots. Witnesses stated after the gunshots were heard that PY was screaming that he had been shot. That's the Jarl, the kid. Witnesses observed Jarl knock on neighbors' doors asking for help. This witness sees him knocking on doors and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to get involved." The witness did not see the shooting. Crime scene personnel responded to and processed the scene as at my request, they photographed the interior of the residence. They located a Smith & Wesson 32 caliber revolver. So it's not even a 32 ACP. It's a 32 caliber revolver. It's a very old cartridge. Lying with the chairs, revolver in the front living room, a chair with two spent shell casings still in the cylinder, along with live rounds in the remaining chambers. They located what does that say? A Bunker Hill security wireless surveillance system in the house, which they confiscated to make sure it didn't get recorded over. I transported the video system to Kansas City, Missouri Police Department headquarters, and upon reviewing the footage of the system, it was determined that the system was no longer functional. The last captured event was dated June 25th of 2022. So, like a year ago. I'm gonna bet if his wife is bedridden, that's probably about the time she came home. At approximately 22 hours, Lester arrived at the Kansas City, Missouri police headquarters to provide a recorded statement. He read his Miranda warning from the form. Lester stated he understood his rights and he agreed to give a statement. He currently lives alone. Okay, so he lives alone. He currently lived alone at the residence. He stated on April 13th that he had just laid down in bed when he heard the doorbell ring. Lester stated he picked up his gun before responding to the door to answer the door. So there we go. Think about that. What was said earlier, about like you hear all these riots and everything else. And remember, this is like Missouri. There's a lot of stuff happened in Missouri in the last couple of years. So it's not it's not a reasonable thing to think. Wait a second, here at night time like this. I mean, YouTube is full. Go watch Donut Operator. They're full of videos of people. Someone knocks on the door, someone goes and answers the door, and then like five people come rushing in and knock down the homeowner and all this stuff. This happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Um, so this 84-year-old is like, I can't defend myself any other way. You have a right to defend your life. You've had that right. Uh, that's from the beginning of time. Let's see here. He responded to answer the front door. He said the front door residence consists of an interior main door and exterior glass storm door, both of which were locked. Lester stated he opened the interior door and saw a black male, approximately 6 feet tall, pulling on the exterior storm door handle. He stated he believes someone was attempting to break into his house. It shot twice within a few seconds of opening the door. Now, okay, so I messed that up in my mind. So within a few seconds of opening the regular door, he shot. He's not saying that he shot. The way I read the first time was that there was a pause between the two shots. That's not what happened. He is like, whoa, that's a couple seconds, right? You think, whoa, somebody's coming in. Um, let's see here. Attempting to break into his house, he shot towards it in a few seconds. Let's just say the male ran away and immediately used, uh, and he immediately used his home phone to call 911. He stated he observed a car in the driveway and he believed to be the male's vehicle, but did not see anyone else in or around the vehicle. Lester stated that he had never seen the male before. He stated no words were exchanged during the incident and that the male had not said anything prior to pulling on the door handle. Lester stated it was the last thing he wanted to do, but that he was scared to death due to the male's size and Lester's age and inability to defend himself. He believed he was protecting himself from a physical confrontation and could not take the chance of the male coming in. Lester was visibly upset and repeatedly expressed concern for the victim. I mean, that says something, right? When the police put that in a report, he was visibly upset and repeatedly expressed concern for the victim. I don't know. I don't read these things every day. I don't know this stuff. Especially don't know Missouri. Uh, Coinciding with the interview, Lester was transported to Kansas City, Missouri Police Department patrol where he was booked, photographed, and was fingerprinted for charges of aggravated assault. Upon consulting the prosecutor in regards, they advised to release Lester pending further investigation. So the DA who's all out there on TV going, oh, hey, this is a racially motivated thing. His office said, yeah, release the guy until the investigation's over. I mean, what do you want us to do about it? Sorry, guys, I'm not looking at chat because I'm trying to get through this. I don't even know if you guys are chatting right now. I'm so sorry. Upon consulting this, okay, yeah. Detectives responded to Children's Mercy's Hospital, located, blah, blah, blah. Get possible statement of from the victim of events that occurred, leading to him being shot. Uh, and get a cursory statement due to the victim's injuries. On April 14th, detectives, blah, 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 went to the hospital. Uh, Jarl was undergoing medical treatment, but his injuries, for his injuries to obtain an informal cursory interview. Jarl stated that now this is the kid, right? On April 14th, he was told by his mother to respond, to 1100, whatever the street is. But that's the whole thing, is that he said that his mom told him to go here and he had the wrong address. To pick up his brothers. The actual address was 1100 Northeast 115th Terrace and not street. Kansas City, Clay County, blah, blah, blah. He stated that he parked in the driveway and walked up to the front door. He stated he rang the doorbell and waited outside the front door. Jarl stated the male inside took a long time, but finally opened the door holding a firearm. He stated he was immediately shot in the head and fell to the ground. He stated while on the ground, he was shot a second time in the arm. Jarl advised he did not pull on the door, and this was the first time coming to the residence. He said he got up and ran away to keep from being shot. He says that the resident, which is this Andrew Lester, he said he got up and ran away to keep from being shot. He stated the male who resides there said, "Don't come around here." Sorry, emphasis is mine. I mean, dude, wait a second. So this guy, pew, pew, don't come around here. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at this guy getting shot. I'm just laughing at myself because I'm not looking at the chat. You guys are probably scolding me over there. That's fine. Let's see here. So he went to the resident and kept telling people to call police. Police showed up a short while later. He suffered a gunshot wound to the left forehead and right arm. Then see here. Okay, so after this paragraph, the last. Let me just read this paragraph. Let me not get ahead of myself. April 17th, I received a lab report stating a DNA profile was developed from the recovered swab of blood on the front porch. There was DNA swabs recovered from the exterior storm door of the residence, consistent with two contributors, with one major contributor. Okay? So that means two people have found their DNA on this door. There's one their DNA is all over the place. Now let's not assume whose it is. Because it doesn't say where they found the DNA so far, right? On April 17th, I was contacted by the lab, and the fingerprint recovered from the exterior of the front door excluded Lester. Attempted to contact Jarl's mother 2 times and left in a range. Interesting. So then it continues. The next paragraph is trying to get a hold of the mother. They went to her house, and then there's the signature of it. So there we go. So we have two. Well, hang on. Let me get back over here, chat. Sorry, guys. Where is my? Oh, you know what? I made my screen bigger. That's not what I want. I want to make it smaller. Oh, that won't do. Oh, now it's too small. Now I can't see anything. Comments. Okay, 66 comments. Boy, I am way behind here. All right, where is that There you go. All right. Um, I have cameras on 24/7. Do you have a backup system? I've got three camera systems. Plus a blue tick coon hound that yells at everything. Um, yeah, that Elizabeth puts it simple. The kid attempted to open the storm door, and the guy shot through the glass. Case closed. That's all the facts you need to know. Yeah, I don't answer doors. All right, let's see here. Sorry, I went too far up. Now I'm going back down. Um, I do not answer the door late at night. I have been rather loud and obnoxious on my ring, though. Okay, where am I getting this? Hang on a second. Let me make sure I got everything right. What? How is that possible? Text to Jen, you got everything on my end. That's okay. I don't have access to my YouTube. Okay, sorry. Yeah, no way I'm answering the door that late. Yeah, Miami Spice might be a coyote. Literally, right? I don't trust folks anymore. I had to answer, especially when they said land shark. I don't answer the door during the day. How many other people are that way? I'm that way. My thing is that if you're gonna call me, I'm gonna know who you are. Um, yeah. Candygram. One thing my grandmother taught me was it's your door, your house. You don't have to answer your door. You know, it's funny. I have a friend of mine, a guy I was in law school with. He would break. I mean, he would panic. Like his phone rang, and he couldn't get to it. It's like, dude, like he got upset. I found out because he was upset because I wasn't answering my phone, and he was like, "How can you do that? How can you just let your phone just like go?" Like, and I answered text. I was like, "Eh, I own my phone." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, man." He's like, "What is wrong with you?" I was like, "Well, I do." I mean, sometimes you get spam calls and stuff. What do I need to answer those for? I'll leave a message. Um, oh, that's crazy. Let's see here. Mongo loves candy. Old SNL's best SNL. Get off my lawn. By the way, did you ever see Gran Torino? First time I saw that movie, I cried. I was like, it's a love story. The guy loved his wife. It's a man's love story. Um, Old Spice is very particular about his lawn. Yeah, don't walk on it, right? Um, all right, there you go. My size on this thing's messed up. Um, I watched my Echo show, so he was at the door. Yeah, right here. I don't answer the door unless you have a reservation. That's a good way of putting it. Just don't be named Sarah Connor. Yes, absolutely. Um, my sons have the lot code. I don't have to answer for them. Luckily, I'm in an apartment where there's a locked glass door to get into the building before you think of getting to my front door. Why is this thing? All right, there we are. Maybe I was uh, messed up. Yeah, if the name doesn't pop up on my phone, I don't answer it. Let's see here. I know it's Sarah Connor. Elizabeth, I love you. I swear. That's just so funny. Anyway, so yeah, this is the thing. Now, okay, quick little breakdown. This is my opinion part. Uh, we don't know who the fingerprint belongs to. We don't know who the mass of DNA belongs to. It could be. I mean, you'd think that. Well, I mean, Lester. I mean, I don't come in through the front door. Do you come in through the front door? So it's like, there's a bunch of DNA on there. And DNA nowadays is not just like, I mean, like your fingerprints have DNA on them. DNA is actually getting harder and harder to do evidence with. I learned this when studying about the Idaho guy, Brian Kohlberger, because there's like, oh, we found a knife sheath with his DNA on it. And then, like, a professor of criminology said, yeah, he could have sneezed somewhere. It's like if you and I are talking in a room, we are getting DNA on each other. I was like, wow, I did not realize that's what it's gone to. Um. Anyway, so then you get the fingerprint. You expect that. But no, actually, I take it back. You don't expect that because you're all said I didn't try to open the door, and they found his fingerprint on the door. So now you've got a conflict in the statements of fact for the probable cause for arrest, right? You know, don't talk to the police. I mean, dude's in the hospital. Jarl is, right? He's in the hospital. How's he gonna remember? He was just shot and stuff. He's like, yeah, I don't remember that stuff. We have a problem though with, don't come around here, right? So we know that Lester had a security camera at some point. We have a neighbor that say he heard banging, he heard gunshots, but neighbor didn't say anything about hearing anybody say, "Don't come around here." Um, yeah, tell Sarah Connor not to answer the door. But if anybody asks you if you're Sarah Connor, say no. Um, this is my opinion part. Idaho, Idaho. Um, yeah. Oh, is that how? You know what? No, wait a second. The DNA was not Lester, right? See, here we are. I can't even remember this from reading it just a second ago. Um, all right, where'd this go? Ah, crud. You know what? I've made this. I'm messing up my screen. I'm hitting too many buttons. All right. Received the lab report. All right, this is the second paragraph from the bottom. There were DNA swabs recovered from the exterior storm of the door, resin consistent with of two contributors, with one major contributor. The DNA profile recovered from the blood was not a major um, contributor. What? Oh, so okay, so the blood is not what was on the door. That is not a major contributor to the DNA from the door. Um, let's see. I was contacted by the lab, and the fingerprint recovered from the exterior of the front storm door excluded Lester. Yes, you're right. So see, I messed that up. Um, Man, that's weird how this is done. There's two sizes that popped up here. That's so crazy. Yeah, there are two DNA contributors, so that's you got to figure that's. I mean, well, we don't know who it is. We don't know who it is, but I again, this is where I was like, well, this is like opinion is that this would be like Lester. It's gonna be one of them, right? And then you think that it's you're all gonna be the other one, but the truth is we don't know. But we do know that there are a couple. What? Who? Who? Um. Oh well, they know it wasn't a sneeze. What? If it was a sneeze on a knife, they would know the source of the DNA. They'd know it wasn't a sneeze. Oh well, it's a hypothetical. I mean, the article I read, the professor. I mean, I didn't look up to see where he was, but anyway, he's like, you're spreading DNA all over the place. But anyway, the whole thing is that like this guy, we have very weird conflicting statements here from what the prosecutor did. That's where the whole problem is. And also, we have this kid. Like one of his lawyers is one of the top like civil rights, uh, storms are over. Uh, he like he sues all these. He's like for lack of a better term, like Al Sharpton type. I'm surprised he's not in Memphis. Um, but the whole let's see here. Hang on a second. I want to get one more. I want to go over this in my head. No, that's the mayor. Um, what did the prosecutor? Do we have that one? I was seeing if it was in this article I have. Okay, Clay County prosecuting attorney Zachary Thomas. That's who signed that probable cause thing. Said Monday that there was a racial component to the shooting, but declined to elaborate. The next sentence says Lester is white while Carl is black. Oh, here, oops, I just streamed. Sorry, I forgot I even had this here. It's the last paragraph right there, right above the picture of the window with the that was egged. So it doesn't have to. Hey, Biggie T, how are you doing? Um, all this is just it's nonsense, really. It's just it's what we have now. I mean, where do you go forward? I don't know what the next thing is. I mean, assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder. I mean, you have I don't know. You know, I don't want to talk in absolutes, and I don't want to make any type of opinion. So I think I'm just going to stop. I'm going to say right there, that's it. That is the affidavit. It is what it is. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. What I do know is that something's awry when you have protesters out there for this. You have protesters out there in Nashville, but yet nobody cares. You can't even pull up on the daily news that what happened in the national news, what happened in L.A. Because of that stabbing, and then the guy ran over the kids, the high school kids, same age, by the way. You have nothing about the shooting in Texas, where the guy get out of the car and went to the car full of cheerleaders. By the way, I tweeted that out. You can go to my Twitter and find the article on that too. And I need to put. I'm going to put all these. Everything I just read, I'll put up on locals after this. But anyway, uh, it's just where are we going? Where do we stop? Where's too far? And I think the whole problem is that there's a narrative. I can't figure it out. That's what bothers me. I just can't figure it out right now. Yeah, I think you're right. The lawyer, and I hate to say that. I'm not saying the lawyer being I mean, this guy that that's representing him is the Johnny Cochran of these cases. You know, where it's like wait, there's a privilege. Oh, good, Texas Jet worked, awesome. Um, and it's like, dude, I'm just so sick of it. You know what? I don't sit around. I don't know anybody who sits there and thinks to themselves. Sorry, so I'm just looking at Discord. Texas Jen, she like lost all of her moderator things. Her wings were clipped. Her angel wings were clipped. And anyway, she had to restart her phone. And I'm like, that's so interesting because like that's how YouTube right now I can't do anything on. But anyway, it's is he from Dallas? I know he's not from the area. And he goes to these different places and he's like the first one there and he's like, thank you, Texas Jen. Matter of fact, I don't have YouTube pulled up. I can't pin it. Uh, by the way, I like that song by Fiona Apple. Yes, just I think you're absolutely correct about this. I think this whole thing is just you have people going out there for that quick buck, and you know I need to stop saying this because we don't know this as fact. And I do want to stick to the facts. If you guys knew me back at the game, well, nobody knew me back then. I don't know anybody who was around. Um, but yeah, Gabby Petito stuff, it really irked me. Um, and it did. It's not that it really irked me. It's just that people were making stuff up. This true crime is a very weird part of YouTube. Don't go to it. It's kind of like don't go to Kiwi Farms. Okay, and I like Kiwi Farms. I do. I really do. But there's just a weird. There's some things just like you don't understand, and you're like, wait a second, what's happening here? And before you know it, everybody's attacking you. And this is Infamous Truth Teller. How are you doing? It's good to see you again. Um, anyway, yeah, it's just I don't know. I do know because I said China. Remind me about China. That's where my weird connection comes in here. So something's happening in Missouri. Something's happening in Nashville. But we have these other stories where they're not going. Why is this happening? Right? Uh, you know, it seems weird. Now, hang on a second here. Let's see if I got this. This will pop up, right? News. Yes. So this I saw, and this blew my mind. And I actually know this to be fact because I know the expert. There's a lot of shenanigans happening right now in true crime community, like Tragedy Pencil. Yeah, step away from true crime community. Who's Tragedy Pencil? That's who I was thinking of. Um, but yeah, uh, I mean, Truth Teller, you know, it's so weird. Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, it's just weird. Um, you can't even explain it. I mean, really, you can't to other people. Hang on, I'm trying to pull this up. Yes, I can't type and talk at the same time. All right, I'm just talking to myself right now. I had to write down a note, and I was just talking to myself. I was like, "Oh, wait a second, yeah," because I'll forget this. Now, this is a big deal actually, and I do know this to be true because um, I heard this several years ago from I was a United States congressman. Said that the number one group crossing the border between the U.S. and Mexico that is not Mexican citizens are Chinese citizens. And I was like, and Chinese citizens. I'm like, how do they get here? Like, why? What? It doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, a reporter says he filmed hundreds of military-age Chinese men heading towards U.S. in migrant groups. Now, why is this? Why do I say? I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, I had a headache all day. Bad headache. But just yesterday, there was reports about in New York City they have a Chinese police station. There's Chinese police stations in California, and they're coming in, and they're trying to find these dissidents or whatever. I don't think they are. I think they're staying in communication with them because if you ever read like any type of like, well, if you just saw the movie Red Dawn, which is the first movie to ever get the PG-13 stamp. I mean, this is it. What would you do? At the beginning of Red Dawn, the title says it came in from Mexico, came in from the southern border. I'm not saying this is happening. I'm not doing conspiracy theories or anything else. But I was like, wait a second, you got all this stuff, all these distractions happening out here. And they're trying to get us to pitting against each other and everything else. I'm like, everybody keeps saying, I keep seeing the same name being brought up, George Soros. I'm like, George Soros? George Soros doesn't have money. That dude's poor compared to the entire Chinese economy. Sorry, I know I went way over my thing. Um, no, you didn't do anything wrong. Didn't do anything wrong. Lee Merrick is a Ben Crump wannabe in training. Why these names sound familiar, but I don't know. I know Jackie Childs. Words are hard. Words are hard. Yeah, we get words mixed up all the time. Don't worry about it. I like that White Rat put ITT. Don't worry about ITT. Um, I like Russell Brand all of a sudden. Isn't that weird? You know what's funny? Russell Brand got sober, and then all of a sudden he became like he he became woke. He was awoken to the world. Took a pill of a certain color, a lot of rouge in it. A lot of rouge. Anyway, so yes, this is happening. This has been happening for several years. Let's see here. Muckracker.com founder Anthony Rubin said on Fox and Friends that every day, multiple times a day, groups of men are lining up and getting on buses to continue their journeys. He described these individuals are taking the route to get to the United States. This would be for people who can't fly into the U.S. directly. So they do. What they do is they get on a flight and they fly into some South American country. Then from there, they go to Colombia. Then we go across the jungle, pop out in Panama, and then they would head to the United States. But this is going to be people. that can't fly in the U.S. directly. You'd rather just fly into the U.S. and overstay your visa, but feel that they can't. Okay, but all right, here they go. Many people don't want their faces on camera, so this makes sense about the police department deal, right? Either they are foreign actors that are coming over here for nefarious reasons, or number two, these are people that are afraid of some sort of retribution by the Communist Chinese Party. If it's number two, well, then what does that mean? I mean that these people are going to be beholden to the Communist Chinese Party once they're here. Oh, you're in the United States. Okay, well, it's going to threaten your friends and family back home in China unless you do X, Y, and Z. That's who was that basketball player a few years ago from China? That was there's a lot of stuff about that with his family. Um, yeah, it was just crazy. Um, Golly, I didn't realize we've been on here this long. All right, hang on one second here. Guys, we're going to change gears here. I'll finish this up. Then we're going to change gears here real quick. Here is Listrin. Listrin, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing okay.
Hey, let me finish this up here on this Chinese thing. Chinese thing? It
Yeah, no
sounds
problem.
like yeah, it sounds like Chinese thing sounds like a bad egg roll. Gosh. All right. I mean, Chinese nationals are across the U.S. Mexican border. The U.S. unprecedented numbers this year, with the first few of 2023 eclipsing the total of 2022. What bothers me about this is there's also an Air Force general that said that the U.S. would be going at conflicts with China next year, which happens to be an election year, but over Taiwan. So if Taiwan's going to be a thing, and I mean, look, we all saw the Summer of Love. Everybody dresses up and wears masks. You don't know where they're from. You don't know who they are. Um, That'd be awesome. DJ Lewis, how are you doing? Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. I know nothing about what Listern is going to talk about, and not. I mean, I don't know nothing. I know enough to get me in trouble. By the way, guys, all my weird headache, connected dots thing. I don't know. I just like I said, this is entertainment at the end of the day. I love China and the Chinese. Matter of fact, if they want to become sponsors of this show, uh, they can buy in for a very reasonable rate of millions of dollars. You like that? Listen.
Oh yeah,
Um,
split it with me. I'll be happy all the way.
yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Like we'll start
Yeah,
paying a drop by guests and stuff like that. Um, anyway, first of all, listen, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm glad to hear that. Wait, where'd my cursor go? I've had more problems. I'm waiting for it to just say, um, what am I waiting for? Oh gosh, hang on a second. My head, man. I'm looking at something. I just messed everything up. Um, okay, so anyway, yeah, YouTube doesn't like me, or it's the apps and all that stuff are all messed up. Trying to get everything straightened out. And then we just I don't know. A lot of stuff's going on, and I just got fed up with it all today. So here we go. Big hump day. Big hump day. Now, you wanted to talk, you were watching this Vallow trial,
Right,
right?
and it's not
What's
being
her?
streamed over the internet. You can only get the audio, I think, like the day after. But because some news reporters screwed up and they actually recorded some of the privileged discussion between Lori and one of her attorneys in the courtroom. Like they had a microphone that was hot sitting on the defense table. And so the judge is like, okay, no camera,
Okay.
no recording. The only
And
cameras
that was
in
early
there
on,
are
right?
the court system. Yeah, that was well, it was I think about 6 months ago, maybe a bit more.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Now, hang
okay,
on a second. So, first of all, who is Lori Vallow? Tell that to
Lori
everybody.
Vallow, she is a nut job. Okay. So, I don't know if everybody knows here, but I am LDS, aka Mormon, born and raised. Lori Vallow, I believe, was also born and raised, but she has gone off the deep end. So, one thing that I want to make clear is parts where what she and Chad Daybell, her husband, did, like what their supposed beliefs are, what part of those are actually consistent with the teachings of our church, and what part they have completely made up on their own. Because that's something that I know a lot of people have questions about. So Lori Vallow, brief history of her is she got married to a guy, last name of Ryan, when she was 18 to 20, something like that. Had 2 kids, Colby and Tylee, with him. Divorced him. I think there was another husband between him and Charles Vallow, which is why Lori now has the last name Vallow. Although I don't know why it's not Daybell. But so she married Charles Vallow, was married to him for 15 or 16 years. And in this time, her son Colby grew up and moved out. And Tylee was, I think, about 17 at the time all this crap went down. And while she was married to Charles, she and Charles adopted JJ.
Now, who is Charles?
Charles is her second to last husband. So the husband right before Chad. Okay, so they got married. Like I said, they were married for 15 or 16 years. So he helped raise Tylee and Colby to a certain extent, and his sister her grandson is JJ, grandson by blood, and because of issues with JJ's birth parents, I think there's drugs in there somewhere. Lori and Charles adopted JJ, and then Lori, she started going a little kooky. She read some books. So Chad Daybell is an author, self-published, but he's published. So he and his books are basically post-apocalyptic LDS fiction.
Okay, that's where I was lost on, because I know he did books and stuff, but I didn't know it was the.
He's so bad he had to start his own publishing company. He started his own publishing company because he couldn't get published. From what I understand, at least. So, and he lived here in Rexburg, Idaho. And part of the post-apocalyptic thing, he got into the doomsday prepper circles. And now there are a lot of LDS people that have gotten into doomsday prepper. So you get your preppers that are worried about nuclear war and all that stuff. World War III or World War Z.
These were fiction, right? The books?
Yeah, the books. Yeah, they're complete fiction. But at some point, he started believing. Well, at some point, Chad seems to have started believing his own lies, his own fiction. Yeah. And Lori read some of it and kind of got sucked into the whole doomsday prepper cult thing. And I mean, it's not always a cult to be a doomsday prepper or whatever. Yeah. I mean, my family, we grew up having, several months at least of food storage.
The federal government says you should have 3 days of food.
Oh yeah, your 72-hour kits.
And 2 weeks of water or something like that. If the federal government's saying that, then you should, really multiply that out.
But my mom got she got a whole food storage prepper group on Facebook mad at her the other day because she said, they're talking about, what do you do for your 72-hour kit? And she's like, take the stuff in your 72-hour kit and cook a meal and see how stupid it is. Because almost guaranteed what you're putting in your 72-hour kit is going to be utter junk. Like 3 candy bars and a bottle of water is not going to last you 72 hours.
I need to get you and
people don't know how to cook. a lot of the things like the beans, people don't know how to cook dry beans anymore because it's, they buy them canned or whatever,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, but they're all like, "Oh, you're calling 72-hour kids stupid." And I'm almost like, "No, you misunderstood." But anyway, sidetrack. So,
Squirrel.
I mean, it's preparing for disasters is completely valid. But when you take it to the point of starting to believe that you've been called by God to gather stuff, I'll get into their beliefs in a minute. But like when
Well,
you
hold
start
on,
believing
but,
that, yeah,
this is, I mean, because all that stuff is a
yeah,
side thing. Because we go straight
right,
now that we know who she is. So she falls in love
yeah,
with this author that she was
yeah.
married. She falls in love with this
They
dude. Goes to
start an
him.
affair. Yeah,
Then,
they end
and
up
why she's on
killing her
trial?
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ended up killing Tylee and JJ.
Well, hold on. Did they,
Um,
or is it they can't find them?
oh, they found the bodies. They found the bodies on Chad's property.
Oh,
It was several months later, but they found the bodies on Chad's property. And it was not pretty. Tylee's body was burnt and dismembered because they realized that they couldn't burn a human body as easily as they thought they could. And then they buried it in apparently, I don't know if it's what Chad, the day that they think that at least one of the kids was buried, there's a text from Chad to his wife Tammy
mm-hmm.
that the wife that died a few weeks after Lori had ordered a wedding ring on Amazon using her dead husband Charles's Amazon account.
Now, how did he die?
Lori's brother shot him in self-defense.
And now this is what
And
I
that,
remember. The
I will
case
get into
was
that because
supposed.
that was the testimony today, was some of that.
Okay. All right. So
So
what was it? What was today then?
today
Because
was
let's just jump
testimony.
into it because like I'm looking at
Okay,
the chat and like they know this a lot better than I do. And of course, I'm asking
okay,
questions, trying to just bring up like what because
right.
like I couldn't remember like the little nuance things. This is a
Mm-hmm.
case that for me is uh ITT here. Evan's tutor. Let me break it down for you. I was laughing.
Yeah.
It's like because it's so complicated. It
Oh, yeah.
really is a spider web of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so today, what did you hear
So,
today?
so today I missed the morning, but I was able to get
Hey,
in
Tweety.
for the afternoon. And so there were 4 witnesses that I got to watch. And the first one was a fireman from the Chandler, Arizona fire department. He's a fireman and a paramedic, trained paramedic. And then the next 2 were detectives from the Chandler Police Department. And all 3 of them worked on the scene of Charles Vallow's shooting. So, and then the 4th one was a friend who went to church with them when Lori and Charles and Tylee and JJ and Colby all lived in Hawaii for a couple of years. So the first witness was where did I took notes though.
Okay.
He was the paramedic and fireman, and he's also a CPR instructor, which is relevant to his testimony. Now, first thing that happened with all 3 of these witnesses from Chandler, Arizona, was that Jim Archibald, one of Lori's attorneys, who actually my mom knows. I think she went to school with him or something. Fun fact. But he objected because this, and his reasoning, which is, I mean, it makes sense as an objection, but this has also been, the judge has ruled this already in the prelim. So Jim's objection was that we're here to try Lori for Kylie and JJ and stuff that happened in Idaho, not what happened in Arizona. And the
Relevancy.
judge, yeah, so the judge said overruled because prosecution wants, and he explained it. He explained it on one of the others because he made sure to make it clear to the jury at one point. Okay, with the second one, the second one there was a sidebar, and when they got back from the sidebar, the judge made clear, reiterated some instructions to the jury that the testimony from these folks from Chandler was for a limited purpose evidence. It's not to be a character witness. It's to help provide motive, proof of motive, means, and opportunity, and I think something else, but I didn't write fast enough. So Jim Archibald objected at the beginning of each of these three witness testimonies, and on the third one, it was hilarious because the judge said overruled, and in a lot nicer and fancier words than I my what I wrote was, "You're being annoying with these objections." But it was basically that. It was, "Hey, we get it, and we get your objecting for the record, but we've been through this. This is the third one in a row." So I thought that was funny.
That happens.
Yeah. But it was basically, "You're being annoying. Shut up." So this paramedic, his name is Scott Cowden, and he's a CPR instructor, and he was working the day that Charles Vallow died. And he responded to calls of a gunshot. And when he got there, the police were already there, and he was shown into the living room by one of the policemen. I'm not sure if it was a detective or an officer. And he saw Charles laying on the floor on his back, apparently unconscious. And he was the first medic on scene to assess Charles. And there was blood on Charles's shirt, and he could see 2 gunshot wounds. And he went to perform CPR. And this next part is very key, as in conjunction with him being a CPR instructor, that he says he saw no sign of CPR having been done before he got there, even though they were told that CPR had been done prior to his arrival. But there was no sign of nobody had blood on hands or gloves, and because his shirt was bloody, and he got blood on his hands as soon as he went and started doing CPR on Charles. And most of us, or if not all of us, know that when you do CPR properly, you are extremely likely to break ribs and cause massive bruising.
I was going to ask about that. Now, hold on real quick. Hold on. I'm a little bit lost here on this.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there? Is that right?
I was. So they're streaming from the Ada County Courthouse is where the trial is being held. That's over in Boise on the southwestern side of the state. But they had to move the trial from Rexburg, which is the southeastern side of the state, 30 minutes from where I live, because they moved jurisdictions because they needed to afford them a fair trial. Because, the community...
But were you there?
I was in the Madison County Courthouse in Rexburg. They're streaming it to Madison County because Rexburg and Madison and Fremont counties are the counties that it took place in.
So did you didn't by chance see Lori, did you?
I saw her on the screen. They Yeah, so I saw her on screen, and I did actually take a couple of notes about her
Okay, I was
because
just
with the
because I was like
yeah,
I was kind of confused
hmm
there for a second. I was like I wanted to set up like if you were
hmm
there, I wanted to ask. I mean, I had some
hmm
different questions, but anyway,
I
go
couldn't
on.
see Lori very well because I mean she was kind of tiny on the screen. They didn't have like a close up camera on her. It
Hmm.
was just a picture of a camera on the defense table from probably 12 feet away, maybe a little more. And
Hmm.
um, so like I said, she was pretty tiny, but she did uh, um, with the first sidebar I saw. So right, um, let's see. So at the beginning of the second witness's testimony, when they did the sidebar, she grabs a notepad and I think every time they did a sidebar, she was just doing something in that notepad. I couldn't tell if she was writing or doodling or what. But after the
Like
second sidebar,
what
yeah,
was
like
her depth
Amber,
graph? Yeah,
yeah,
and I can't remember her name. That's how important she is to me.
I know, right? But when her attorneys got back from the first sidebar, she was talking to them and looked pretty agitated. And then a minute later, before the judge finally came back in and sat down after the sidebar, I thought I glanced up and I thought I caught her smiling, like just like laughing at a comment or something, smile. And I was
Hmm.
like, holy crap, is she smiling? You know,
Now,
but
now, okay,
yeah.
now hang on real quick because I just want to show this because what I know, I mean, I know the
Mm-hmm.
highlights of this whole thing, right? And it's like,
Okay.
well, um, I say the highlights. I mean, like, I'm talking about like the stupid internet side of things. And so it'd be
Mm-hmm.
like this Lori chick. So, like, this is her. So, this is like, she was into like all this
Oh, I
like
haven't seen that
training
one.
and stuff. I just looked it up because like I was trying to find a good picture because I know like there's been a lot of talk about how she looked and how she looks now, and like one of the things was somebody said, yeah, she can't afford or she can't get Botox in prison. I forget who told me that, and that was like somebody told me that. But anyway, so
She
this is
looks
supposedly
better
like
now than she did a year ago. I got to say that because I saw the pictures of her during some of the competency hearings and stuff, and she looked
mhm.
like an old hag. Now she
Yeah, and
looks.
when like
I
looking
think
at the
she's supposed
pictures
to
of
be
her,
about 50 now, and she looked. I mean, her hair is permed
she looked haggard.
and dyed properly. So I mean, she's she doesn't look like an old hag like she did a year or so ago, but she doesn't look like that picture you just showed. That was one I haven't seen before.
Oh, well, yeah. There's several of those. And I was like, oh, well, like, and that's why I don't know, just because I know that like that's a big thing, and then like the thing with like her brother, there's even talk about did they have an incestuous relationship at one point,
Yeah, and
and
I have no answer on that. I
yeah, I would hope
heard
you
about that
didn't. I would hope
recently,
you
and I'm
didn't.
like, I wouldn't be surprised given her other crap and the way that he was her little henchman. But on the other hand,
It's
I have no evidence of it.
yeah,
So
nobody. I mean, that's just
yeah.
weird. But it's like what now? Now I was looking like Info's True Teller was saying that the who was Charles is the brother.
No, Charles is the husband that got shot by the brother. So Lori's brother is named
Okay,
Alex Cox,
okay,
and
because she was
Charles.
saying Emma Churchill was saying that Charles was a baseball player.
Oh yeah, good point. I didn't know that about Charles, but that is definitely relevant to some of the testimony that I saw today.
Okay, so
So
that's what I wanted to know
yeah.
because it's like because I hear
Hmm.
about like if you see the chat sheet I put there as like the bump on the head size thing and all other
Hmm.
stuff. Um,
Yeah. So
anyways,
So when Scott Cowden started CPR on Charles, he felt that crunch and crackle that happens in the first couple of pumps of the CPR, which was another thing that told him that no one had started CPR previously to him. And
mhm.
then also when he stopped CPR for them to, I guess they had a defibrillator there, So you have to step back and not touch the body for however long it takes for it to analyze. When he pulled his hands up, he could see the he called it the impression, I think, in Charles's chest of where his hands had been. And so, what did you do?
Am I?
You shrunk me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. I just
Sorry.
thought that was
No, I
funny.
was trying to go. No, I was trying to go back over here. Okay, so my
Yeah.
button thing it fell, and so that's.
Oh,
I'm
okay, that
like
makes sense.
and I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want to push buttons doing this, And I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, guess what? I pushed a button. So sorry about that. See,
No, it's
again,
okay. Just
I said earlier, I said I wouldn't know what it'd be like to be a professional. That'd be so nice. Just be able to walk in, like everything works, everything's set up for you and stuff. It's like I'm just
mm-hmm.
sitting here, I'm picking up I've got like little cleaning cloths. I've got like 5 of these. I don't know why, and they're all right here. Like, well, why are these here? Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, okay.
But I
So
can't, now I can't put this thing down. I can't find a place for it. God, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, listener. I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind. Um so so he's so the basically the end result of his testimony was that he doesn't believe anybody else had actually performed CPR on Charles before
Mhm.
he arrived, even though he was informed that somebody had, because he saw no blood on anybody's hands and no ribs were broken before him starting, and there was no dent on Charles's chest before he started. And so prosecution said, okay, we're done asking questions. And the defense said, no questions because we objected and we don't believe this is
Yeah.
relevant. Which is funny because the next 2 witnesses, they did do cross on, even though they objected because of the same reason.
Yeah.
So the next witness was Ariel Werther, and he is a Chandler homicide detective, although at the time he was working in the Chandler SBU. But he was shadowing, he would go to some of the homicide cases because he was wanting to switch over to the homicide case, and so he would shadow homicide detectives and lend a hand. So, and he also had made a PowerPoint that he went through, it was admitted as evidence, and he went through the PowerPoint and explained it because it's basically just a bunch of maps, so that he can explain some of the details of that morning. That's when they did a sidebar, was when the prosecution was like, I've got this to, I want to put this into evidence, or, put it in as, for the testimony, and then afterwards, admit it to evidence. But, so he was, assigned, he went and he, helped out a little bit at the crime scene, or at the house, at the scene. But then his task afterwards was that was he was instructed to contact Lori after she had been interviewed. I think he said it was the next day. He called Lori to get JJ's info, because by the time the police got to the scene, Lori had taken JJ, left to take JJ to school, because she didn't want him around that, because just a little kid. Plus he's autistic and has had ADHD.
Yeah.
So, he didn't need to be around all that. And so he called to get JJ's birthday and whatnot. And then, he had to get like a timeline from her, I guess. And so she said that she took JJ to school, but they stopped at a Burger King on the way. And
Get
then,
those French
so
toast sticks. You ever
yeah,
had
well,
those?
apparently JJ liked the chicken fries or something.
I think it was going towards school.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Well,
it's
yeah, yeah.
morning time.
Well, yeah. This is in the morning, so um, it happened between like 7:30 and 8. I think I wrote down times later, but so she said she took JJ to school and stopped at a Burger King on the way, um, and she had Tylee with her as well. And so he went and went to the nearest Burger King, which was not very far from the house, and asked for video surveillance. And so he got the video of her going through the drive-through with a timestamp that coincided with some other data that, and he compared that to the time of the 911 call. And then by using, I don't like Google Earth and stuff, he estimated how long it would take for her to go from the house to the school and then back to the house and be at the house at the time that she showed up after the police had arrived. And she also apparently stopped at a Walgreens to buy flip-flops for Tylee and JJ because they left the house without shoes. And then also they got Charles's phone from Lori and took the location data off of his phone, because apparently she had the phone with her in the car while they were going. And also, the phone was the thing that they were fighting over when Charles was shot. So, but I'll get that in a sec. So the first slide of the PowerPoint was just a map that's showing Chandler and Gilbert, Arizona. They're kind of like, they're two cities that are mushed up against each other, and it showed icons where the house is, and then the Burger King, and then the school, and also the Walgreens. Well, he forgot to mark the Walgreens on that particular slide. And then the next slide showed the house, the Burger King, and the school again, and had some timestamps on it showing that it was actually closer into the thing. And then he had a map showing the phone location data, like little pins, showing that the phone left the house at 7:49, and then it was at the Burger King at 7:54 to 7:56, and then it leaves the Burger King and gets to the Walgreens about 8:15, and leaves the Walgreens at 8:20. And he managed to find video of that.
They're at Burger King for 11 minutes and at Walgreens for 5 minutes?
No,
that'll be a commercial.
No, the Burger King was about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, it's 7:54 to 7:56. Yeah. And then they were at the school at about 8:32. So, and then, but at 8:36. So they're already at the school dropping JJ off when the 911 call goes in at 8:36. And then the first officer gets there at 8:42, and then the phone gets there at 8:47, and Lori shows up on body cam at 8:48. And so that was that. So basically, supposedly, Charles was shot before Lori left to take JJ to school. But instead, JJ was at school by the time the 911 call went in. And she also said to the next detective that that she had left the house, and then Alex called and said, "Hey, he's not doing great." And she said, "Okay, call 911." Like right after she left the house. So there's massive time discrepancies here.
Okay, now hold on a second. So this is her. Hold on. So is she on trial, or is her brother on trial right now?
Alex is dead.
The brother?
That's more of this. Yes, the brother is now dead, and that's more of the crazy conspiracy crap of this case.
So is she on trial then for the murder of for her brother's death or for the husband's
her
death?
brother's death has not been ruled a homicide, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
That
But
he
this is for her
supposedly died of
husband's
natural
death.
causes. No, because that would be in Arizona. Her husband died in
This is
Arizona. She is on trial for Tylee and JJ's deaths.
okay. Okay, so that's what I was thinking, but then I was thought like
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying they're talking about. It seems like it was uh her
Well, as I
husband's.
said, they're talking about her husband's death, Charles's death, as to provide evidence of motive, means, and opportunity. And that will make a bit more sense with the last witness I saw.
Okay.
Okay? So be patient. There's a
Well, you
reason the
might get lost.
prosecution put them in this order. Like, I can
Yeah, I
see where
understand.
they're pulling the threads together, you know?
Yeah, well, it's funny
So,
because the infamous truth teller said earlier, it said like you really need like a whiteboard to try to keep up with all this. I'm like, now I
oh
see
yeah,
why. I should have
I'm gonna
taken
be
notes.
typing all these up, and I'm gonna see, maybe I'll make my own PowerPoint. I don't know, something. I'll figure something out, because, for what I see and what I've learned from other
Yeah.
places. Um, so then the last question from the prosecution was, to this detective, was Charles's phone on him, and he's like, I don't know. So um, then the defense actually did cross-examine this detective, which is funny, because he said he didn't want to cross-examine the paramedic because of the objection. But
Hmm.
so he asked who made the 911 call, and the detective says it was Alex. And then, did you speak to Alex? And the detective said, not personally. The other officers interviewed Alex. And um, and then he asked, so Charles Vallow's phone went to the Burger King and the Walgreens and JJ's school and stuff. And he's like, yeah. Okay, so who else was with Lori? I'm not sure. I was told that Tylee and JJ were with Lori. And on the video of the drive-through at the Burger King, I could see someone in the passenger seat, but I did not recognize him. And that was the end of his testimony. There was no redirect, and he was excused. So then the next witness was Dr. Cassandra Inklin, which is it. I kind of like her last name because it's Inklin. She's got an inkling of what's going on. But she was pretty cool. She is a detective with the Robbery and Homicide Division, and then more of the the objection, and that's where the judge is like, you're annoying. And so she was asked, do you remember the 911 call? She said, yes, I went to the house. Patrol had already marked off the crime scene, and she went in, and there were a few detectives there, and they were assigned different tasks. And her task was to go talk to Lori and Tylee, who had arrived back at the house by then after dropping JJ off. And so she moved them a bit away from the scene, and then she learned that, oh, okay, Lori is Alex's sister and the wife of the deceased, and Tylee is the daughter, and so she was there when someone else came to inform Lori that Charles was dead. And she said that Lori responded, I know, I was there, basically, not exactly those words necessarily, but Lori's just like, yeah, I know, I was there, but with little reaction. And she was calm when she first arrived on scene, and was even laughing, like just chattering with, light conversation with whoever she was talking to before Detective Inklin got there. And
Hmm.
so then she was assigned to do a follow-up interview with Lori and Tylee at the Family Advocacy Center. So she escorted them there in her car. And on the drive, of course, she didn't want to talk about anything related to the case until they were at the Family Advocacy Center, so that they could have it recorded and stuff properly. And she said that, again, Lori's behavior on the drive was calm and unemotional, and it was just talking about Tylee's school and future plans that Tylee had and stuff like that. So then she interviewed Lori, she thinks around 10 or 11, and Lori said that they'd only been in that house a few weeks. Charles had just rented it for her because she and Charles were separated and probably going to be divorcing soon. And that when, JJ had just come back to Lori, because they'd lived in Hawaii for a while, and then they'd moved to Arizona because there was a really good school for JJ there. And then when they decided that they were separating, then Lori, Tylee, and JJ ended up back in Arizona after Charles had moved to Houston because of that school being so good for JJ. And so, but apparently Lori had allowed, that's her word, Charles to take JJ to Texas for a bit to teach him how hard it was to care for JJ, which makes me barf. I even drew a little barf emoji.
I do not want to see that.
It's a terrible drawing. I'm not good at drawing. But so then JJ went back to Arizona and was going back to school there. And then so Charles was supposed to take JJ to school that morning. He came in from Houston, he stayed at a hotel or a friend's house, and then he was supposed to pick up JJ, take him to school, and, spend a little father-son time with him. But apparently Charles arrived late, according to Lori, and JJ was a little reluctant to go, but they finally got JJ in the car, and Charles had to go back inside for his phone, which apparently he'd left on a counter. So he goes inside, JJ's in the car, Tylee's in her bedroom, Lori and Alex are in the living room, and Lori's got Charles's phone, and she said that she had the reason Alex was there was because she says that she knew Charles was going to be there that morning, and she had Alex sleep over the night before because she was worried. And so that's probably part of where people are getting the incestuous crap from. Which, I don't know. But so Lori had picked up Charles's phone off the counter and supposedly saw some text messages that proved he was having an affair or something. And so Lori, Charles comes in. Yeah, so Charles comes in, sees Lori holding his phone, and he's like, "Hey, I want my phone." And Lori's like, "What about these texts?" And they get into an argument, and Lori's like walking around the furniture trying to keep away from Charles with his phone, and they're arguing, and then Tylee comes out of her bedroom with a baseball bat, and this is where what infamous truth teller said comes into play. So Tylee's got this baseball bat, and she was apparently prodding Charles with the baseball bat, which, okay. I mean, I guess she's a teenage girl. She doesn't really know what to do. It makes sense that she would kind of be trying to defend her mom, but not know how. So she's prodding him with the baseball bat, and he grabs the bat out of her hands, and then he's really angry. And then Alex comes up behind Charles and grabs him and pulls him back away from Lori, and they end up in a physical altercation. And they're still arguing, and Lori tells Tylee to go outside with JJ. And so Tylee runs outside. Lori goes into the kitchen. She can't see the guys now, but she hears them still fighting, and then she hears one gunshot, which is interesting because there were at least 2 gunshots in Charles. So she goes back in the living room and sees Charles on the floor, and she goes outside. She sees JJ coming towards the house, so she takes him and puts him in the car and takes him to school because he doesn't need to be there. And that's when they go to the Burger King, school, and the house, back to the house. And Lori did not didn't discuss the position of Charles in the living room and Alex in the living room as she left. She didn't tell the detective that. And then after she leaves, she gets a phone call from Alex asking if she left, and she's like, yeah, call 911. And so that's what she says happened. So then this detective also interviewed Tylee, and Tylee's story fairly well coincided with what Lori said. And then she took them home, and again, on the drive home, the conversation was about Tylee and her school and her future plans, and it was all lighthearted chatter. The detective even said it was chatter. And then she also, after she had interviewed Lori and Tylee, there was another detective that had interviewed Alex. And when she talked to the other detective and said, this is what Lori and Tylee said, there were some discrepancies with what Alex had said. So, but I don't know what all those discrepancies are at the moment, because they didn't really get into that yet. So then cross-examination came in and asked if the interviews were recorded. Yes. Did you review them prior to your testimony? She's like, yes. And then was it determined that Alex was justified, that it was self-defense? She says no. And then they have a little sidebar because the prosecution was like, approach. And then the prosecution or the defense also asked, was Alex arrested? No. Or was Alex arrested that day? And and that's what that question was what triggered the sidebar, I think. And then were the stories consistent? She said mostly. Well, were all three of them consistent with saying that Tylee had the baseball bat? Yes. And that Charles hit Alex with the baseball bat on the head? Yes. And that's what Infamous was saying about the baseball bat. If Charles was a major baseball player, he would know how to use that bat to actually conk somebody pretty darn hard.
Yeah,
and apparently Alex didn't need any medical treatment, which if you got hit on the head with a baseball bat more than a light tap, you're going to need to go to the hospital for scans to make sure you don't have a concussion. Like, come on.
I feel like I've been hit in the head with a baseball bat right now. I've been suffering with that stupid headache all day from my allergies. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Allergies.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, love the spring in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to hijack that.
No, it's okay. So, but yeah, so, and then, the defense asked, so Lori wasn't upset, and is there a correct or incorrect way to act when there's a death? And the detective's like, not really a correct or incorrect way, but she just left me, the impression that she was unemotional, which was odd.
Yeah.
And so then there was redirect on this one, and in the redirect, so is it the police department's job to decide whether or not it was a justified shoot? No.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the process for that? And then there was an objection, and that was sustained. And then do the police meet with the prosecutor? Objection sustained. Are you aware if Alex is alive or not? And Alex is not. And the detective said, I'm aware that Alex is deceased. And do you believe Alex would be arrested if alive? Objection sustained. And then, do you arrest the same day as the case is open? And there was an objection there, but it was overruled because prosecution said they asked, was Alex arrested that day? And so the judge, like, okay, you can, and the detective said, generally, no, people aren't arrested the same day as the case is open. I mean, sometimes they are. And then there was another approach from the prosecution and the sidebar, and then the witness was excused. So that basically gives you kind of a overview of what happened with Charles Vallow, how he died there. And basically the big question is, did Lori and Alex set him up to get killed by them? Because why did Alex need to be there? Charles had no history that I'm aware of violence, you know, and it sounds like Lori started the fight by accusing him of having an affair when she's already she's cheating on him, and she's planning to leave him anyway. Like, they're separated. Like, why is she all prissy about that? So,
well, I mean, people, they get weird in separation and stuff. Let me ask you, listen. So you decided to go to this. What did you expect? Or did you have any expectations in your mind?
No, because
Did you have to do
I
anything? Hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but also, did you have when you got there? I guess I didn't need to interrupt you. This is a second question. I guess they go in different ways. So my other question would be: is like, were you just anybody could walk in? Were there a lot of people there? Some of that. So, first of all, what did you expect? What were you thinking?
well, I kind of wish I'd been able to go last week because, I mean, it's kind of morbid, but they had the pictures of the children being exhumed and stuff. And
Oh gosh, you saw all
yeah,
that?
no, like I said, morbid curiosity. I kind of wish I'd been able to go last week to see that.
Uh-huh.
But apparently Lori wanted to leave the courtroom for that, and they made her stay there and watch the pictures, look at the pictures, and hear the testimony from the coroner and stuff. But so, but I wanted to see, like what. I have no idea what the schedule was today for witnesses and stuff. I was just like, I want to go see. I mean, what are they bringing in to talk about? Like, how are they putting this case together?
So, were there a lot of people there, or
no? So I imagine there's a lot more at the courthouse in Boise, in Ada County, but there were 6 other women besides me, and one of them is one of the local Channel 8 news reporter. No, just the bailiff.
Oh wow.
Although there was one officer that was, I think some of the ladies in this chat would consider him a throb cop. Not super bulky, muscly, but he was, kind of handsome. But anyway, I made sure to take notice just for the ladies. I wish I could have taken. I should have thought to take a picture, but anyway. So one of the women was a Channel 8 news reporter for the local Channel 8, and then 2 of the women are actually from a podcast called Crime Time or True Crime Squad. So I don't know if anybody here knows the True Crime Squad, but they were there, and I guess they've been there several days already. And then one of the women that I got to talk to before, because I got there right after the lunch break had started. So I talked to this lady in the hall while we waited for it to start back up, and she knows members of the family, and so she's been involved in the case from the very beginning, as far as supporting the family, trying to find Tylee and JJ, all of that stuff. Like, so she says she was at a friend's house or niece's house who is in the same ward, so the same congregation as one of Chad's brothers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And um, and so she's sitting there, and she gets and her niece or friend gets a text, and it's like, "Hey, check this out," and shows her a picture of Chad and Lori on the beach in Hawaii. Their wedding picture. And look, Chad just got married, and she's like, "Wait, why? What happened to Chad? What happened to Tammy? Oh, Tammy died a couple weeks ago. What? You know, like so she knows, like that it's just crazy. Like that's how soon into the case
Yeah.
she knew people, and so she but anyway, it was interesting hearing her perspective a little bit. She helps maintain the fence that's across the street from Chad's property where the kids were buried, um, and stuff like that. And one of Chad's daughter lives there with her husband now, and so
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's kind of weird. And then there were a couple other ladies that I guess went to church with some of the family. So yeah, that
So,
was interesting.
did they ask you anything when you got there? Like, I mean, who are
Well,
you? Name,
in or you mean
address, phone
the
number?
other ladies or
No, the court.
okay, so in order to go in, you have to apply for a ticket. And you
Mm-hmm.
go online, and there's a website. You go online and you select whether you need to go to the Ada County courthouse, and there's the actual courtroom and then an overflow room. And then you also have to, or you can choose the Madison County Courthouse. And so, of course, I chose Madison County because that's 30 minutes away versus 4 hours. Um, and then you fill out the full thing, name, number, email address, and then what time. And basically, you have to do it the day before. So tomorrow, I'm probably going to apply for Friday because I don't have anything specific scheduled Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to see if I can go the whole day. That would be pretty
That'd be
cool.
crazy.
But then again, they
Yeah.
might not do. I don't know if they're doing court on Fridays or not. Because some trials they don't. So
Yeah, they should.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know,
they need to
but
work for their money.
well, they
Taxpayer money.
gotta consolidate all of the previous 4 days and get ready for the next 4 days.
Yeah.
But so
Miami Spice
yeah.
says that's so neat you in
Oh,
such a high profile case.
thanks, Miami. Yeah, it's
That really is
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, and just fun little thing. A year ago, almost exactly, I was on jury duty here in Bonneville
Hmm.
County. So for a little DUI case, and I ended up being the alternate juror. It's like, no, that's
Hey, at
not
least you
fair. I
went,
finally get
you
on a
know?
jury.
Hey, I'm glad to
Yeah,
hear you say that because most people are like,
yeah,
oh, I don't want jury duty and stuff. And it's like, that is the most important thing you can do as a citizen. That's probably more important than voting.
yeah.
It's,
No, it's well, and it's fascinating. You know, it was really
yeah,
interesting because I put in a room with 6 other people that are extremely different from me in some ways. You know, and and then we are not allowed to talk about the one thing we're there for until the
the
very
trial.
end.
Were you allowed
So
to
we
talk at
have
all?
to,
Did you say that? Could you talk?
yeah, we could talk to each other when we're in the jury room. We were able
Okay.
to talk just about other things. We couldn't discuss the case at all. So
Okay.
I told him
Yeah, it's funny.
I'd been watching a bunch of lawyers on YouTube, and so I was super excited about this.
Did what was the reporter like? Because like I don't know, like I
She,
just reporters are to me reporters are behind because you said you would watch a lot of
mm-hmm,
lawyers on YouTube. So it's like
yeah.
reporters are behind the curve on technology. It seems like so it's like
Um,
when you
she
said
was
that, I
young.
just imagine being like, oh,
No,
only
she was young. I'll have to look her up. But if you look up Idaho, um, the Southeast Idaho Channel 8. You should be able to
Uh-huh.
find her. She's a long blonde hair, um,
Yeah, most reporters are.
probably yeah, probably mid to late 20s. But she had a notebook, and she would scribble the whole time, and then as soon as there was a break, she would pull out her laptop and start typing away to type
So
up her
she didn't
notes.
talk to any of y'all?
And oh, she did. She did. She
Okay.
spoke to the lady that I talked to in the hall. Got information from her. Oh, also the lady I talked to in the hall is also friends with Kay and Larry Woodcock, who are JJ's blood grandparents. Charles's sister is Kay,
Oh, wow.
so she's become good friends with them over the course of the trial.
That's
But
weird.
yeah, so anyway, the
So crazy.
oh, where was I? So yeah, that I wanted to go because I wanted to see, and I wanted to be able to see some of the stuff firsthand to be able to help explain to people the line between um, LDS doctrine and kookiness that they have.
Well, now
Because
I've got
yeah,
my best friend is Mormon, and so
oh
when
yeah,
you say it like that, like it makes me laugh because I want to be like, oh yeah, they're full of kookiness, because I always give him a hard time, and I'm Catholic,
no,
and he always gives me a hard time. So it was like for a second there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm joking
mhm.
around. I'm sorry.
I'll have to tell you about when my mom went on a mission in the 80s to Argentina, and of
Oh
course,
wow,
Catholicism is the state religion, and
yeah,
they literally have a registry of names that you can only choose to name your child from that list of names, and it's usually basically all the traditional Catholic names,
yeah,
and
after
and
saints.
so yeah, exactly. And so I mean, my mom has a lot of stories about being down there and stuff,
That's
but that's
crazy.
for another day.
Yeah, my buddy went to where did he go? Iowa, I think.
Oh,
It's
my brother
like,
did too. My brother
uh,
actually moved back to Iowa.
well, I asked my buddy if he would go back to Iowa, and he's like, I would die before I went back there. He hated it. I'm
I
like,
know. I don't
I want to go to
understand
the
why my
Iowa
brother
State
did.
Fair. I'm dying to go to the Iowa State Fair, but I love
Yeah,
fairs. But
yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Fairs are fun. I can't eat any of the food at the fairs anymore, but the fairs is still
Oh,
fun.
that's not good. Yeah, I
I
love the
yeah,
fair.
gluten and dairy. Oh well.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I went to the Kentucky State Fair, and
Mhm.
it was in Louisville, and this is so it's like on the campus of the University of Louisville, and
Mhm.
their basketball arena, which I'm like sitting there going, this is like a big deal, like because like they're big rivals with the University of Kentucky, and I'm like, man, this is like my mom went to Kentucky, so like always growing up, stuff that's why I always heard about was Kentucky basketball. I'm like, this is a huge thing, like, and it was inside the arena. It was everybody was there the night before with their cattle because in the morning was the judging, and so they turned the entire place into cow pens. And I was like walking by, there were like all these like, I mean the people that were presenting their cattle, they slept in the pens with them, and I was like,
Mhm.
this is so amazing to me. They're so dedicated and stuff. And anyway, just I love the fair. It's I don't know, it's a cool thing. So
Mhm.
that's yeah. Iowa is supposed to be the one to go to, but
Yeah.
well, I'm glad you went today. I'm glad you got to have that
Mhm.
experience, and thank you for sharing that with us. That's
Yeah.
something that's
There's one more
awesome.
witness if you have time, or
Oh
I
yeah,
can.
I didn't know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
Yeah.
just started
No.
talking about other stuff. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah. So the last witness that they did today was April Raymond, who lives in Hawaii, and um, so let's see. They had to do a thing without the jury at the beginning to make sure that the for the exclusionary rule. because apparently somebody had a journalist named Justin Loom had he's a journalist that's been following the trial from pretty close to the beginning, if not the beginning, or following the case from the beginning. And so apparently he sent her a Facebook message with that had an interview of one of Lori's cousins, and she saw a couple minutes, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, no," and turned it off. But what she saw wasn't relevant to her testimony, and so it ended up that she was allowed to be a witness. And so they brought in the jury and asked a little bit about her. The prosecution, was like, you live in Hawaii, you have a couple of kids, and you knew Lori. How do you know Lori? Well, when Lori and Charles lived there, they went to the same branch. So the way that the church is divided up, so a regular congregation is a ward, but if there are not enough people to make a full-sized ward, which is, a couple hundred people or more usually, then we call it a branch, because it's a branch off a tree sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there, in where they lived in Hawaii, there's not a high LDS population, so they were in a branch. But so she met Lori at church in 2016, and Lori was actually the primary president for the branch. So primary is the children's Sunday school, 12 and under, under 12. And so it was Lori's job to help plan, lead planning the activities and choosing who's going to teach the different age groups and stuff like that. And so, and it was during this time that Colby, Lori's oldest, he was living with them, then he went on a mission, and then he came back from his mission before they moved away, apparently. And April knew Charles because their families did a lot of activities together. They had holidays at each other's houses, stuff like that. And Lori also was a hairstylist, and so Lori would color April's hair, and then of course they were planning activities for the children. And April and Lori kept in touch when the Vallows moved away. And so then, and I'm going to do this a little bit out of order of the way the testimony went, but it's to help keep the timeline a little bit easier to follow. So Lori would visit from time to time after moving away. And she had a visit in July of 2018. And that's when April noticed that Lori's beliefs had started to change from what they had been before, which was, in line with church teachings. And just a little bit, she started talking about having previous lives, reincarnation, which is not taught by the church at all. I mean, we believe that
reincarnate.
No, no. We believe that our spirits existed before birth, and we believe that later on, it will be resurrected. Of course, like as far as I know, all Christians believe that. So
I was like saying reincarnated.
I know, it's fun.
Reincarnate.
But, Gomer Pyle from the Andy Griffith Show. Yeah. Yes, he has a song about reincarnation. It's a really cute love song. Yeah, it's on Spotify. You should look it up.
I'm on Spotify.
Yeah, that's right. You got, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was in July of 2018 that Lori started talking to her friends about reincarnation and that she had previous lives and stuff. And then in February of 2019, Lori and Tylee showed up in Hawaii, surprise visit basically, and they stayed for about a week with April. And Lori's story was that she was leaving Charles and she needed a place to stay for a bit because Charles had an affair and Charles is dead. His spirit is dead, but his body is being inhabited by an evil spirit or demon named Ned Snyder.
I really thought you
And
were going to say Ned Flanders. That's from The
oh,
Simpsons. Sorry.
and then so when where's JJ? Well, he's with Charles. Well, why? Because she's done with JJ, and that Charles and Kay can figure JJ out. And then how do you know that Charles is dead and there's a demon in his body? Well, because Charles is shorter. Now, I kind of wanted to ask what's shorter, but hey, you guys are rubbing off on me, okay? I used to never have thoughts like that.
Rubbing off on you. I mean, this is so bad. This is PG-16, okay?
Yeah, well, I know too many people under 16 talk like that. Yes, that. So, and then, yeah. the Lori also said, "Don't tell Charles that I'm here. If he calls, just act like you don't know." And well, why is that? Well, because I told Charles I'm going to be at a conference in Idaho. I think it was a prepper conference, one of them one of the conferences where she met Chad,
Yeah,
but I'm
I
not sure.
remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, and so she's like, I told him I would be in Idaho because apparently Charles had hired a private investigator to follow Lori to serve her papers. She never specified what papers, but April just assumed they were divorce papers. But if Lori is the one that's separated from Charles, what, it makes no sense. But I mean, most of this crap doesn't make sense. So then, after about a week, then Lori and Tylee moved to a hotel or something. And then Lori's got a friend. Now, there's a couple of different Melanies in this case. There's Melanie Gibbs, who is a friend. And then there's Melanie, shoot, I forget her last name. But she's Lori's niece. So this is Melanie Gibb, who I believe has already testified, and she had actually recorded. I listened to a recording of a phone call that she had called Lori and Chad and recorded the phone call. And it's very interesting phone call. So Melanie comes to
How
Hawaii.
interesting.
Interesting enough that you should. It's a little bit. So Melanie, at this point when she shows up in Hawaii, when Lori is there, which April is testifying to, she is basically all in with Lori and Chad on this cult. And then hang on, my phone is, even though it's on the charger, it's still losing battery. Okay.
It needs to be reincarnated.
Yeah, no kidding. So, but Melanie is basically like all in on this cult thing in February of 2019. But at the time of the phone call, Tylee and JJ have disappeared. Tammy has died. Lori and Chad are married. And Melanie is starting to break out of the fog. And so she starts calling Lori and Chad on it. And it's it's telling. You can hear they're trying to manipulate her, and it's interesting, which is funny considering the next little bit of testimony. So Melanie shows up in Hawaii, and then Tylee, April said that Tylee was no longer in Hawaii. She thinks that Tylee had gone to Arizona to help out at an aunt's funeral home or something. And JJ is still not in Hawaii, presumably with Charles. And so they go to lunch at a restaurant. April and Lori and Melanie. They go to lunch at a restaurant, and Charles sends out an email to like all of Lori's family saying, "Does anybody know where Lori is?" And so then April, or no, let's see. Yeah, April shows Lori, "Hey, look, I just got this email." And Lori's like, "Hey, don't tell him anything, okay? I still don't want him knowing where." And so then Melanie is backing up Lori's story. And again, the story is Lori found evidence of an affair, and Charles is really mad because when Lori found out that Charles was going on a business trip, when Lori found the text messages or whatever, and so Lori, on his way to the airport, Lori cancels his flight, and then while he's inside the airport, she goes and takes his truck from the airport parking lot. So now his flight's been canceled and he has no truck, and so he got really mad. Which, I mean, wouldn't you be mad about that? So, and then now in the Book of Revelation in the New Testament, there's the 144,000 and that are supposed to be exalted. It's been too long since I've read that, but I mean 144,000, they're supposed to be the elite spirit basically, and apparently Lori is a leader among the 144,000, and that she and Melanie are there to gather April to join them, and so the prosecution, she asked April, she said, "Okay, so if you were to join them, what would that mean?" And she's like, "Well, Lori wanted me to just leave my kids and come with them, and like not be in my kids, not have my kids in my life anymore." And it just, well, what do you mean? Well, just leave them with their dad, and these kids. So then cross-examination. The second question was, how old were your kids at the time? And so they were Demon Charles apparently. So
what was the A and the E there? I was like, what? How's that? Okay, sorry.
That's the Latin. That's a Latin letter. But yeah. So April's kids were about 10 and 12 at the time. So, okay, she's supposed to leave her kids that are 10 and 12 years old. Well, why didn't Lori just do that? Or was April gonna then be told to go kill her kids? Like, that's the question that I thought of. Like, where is that gonna lead? And then the cross-examination asked if Lori believed in reincarnation before. And another note, Jim Archibald at least was raised LDS. I don't know if he still is, though. But, and he's the defense counsel. So Lori didn't believe in reincarnation before that. And the belief changed because of the new group that she was with. And then he asked about, had she talked about previous lives and were they taught by the church? Is previous lives being taught by the church? And that one is one that's, not reincarnation, but we call, premortal life is our spirits before we're born, and then mortal life is now, and then and then the afterlife is heaven, basically. So, so I mean, that one's kind of an ambiguous question in my mind because, yeah, previous lives, which definition, reincarnation or spiritual progression? And then he asked if Lori had started to talk about zombies in 2019, and I believe the answer to that was yes. And then he asked her, did they talk about castings? And she said no. And castings is apparently casting out the demon out of a zombie body. And then he asked her if they talked about the light and dark scale. And the answer to that was yes. And the light and dark scale is Chad would give people a light or dark rating. If you're light, that means you're more holy. And if you're dark, that means you're more evil. Pretty simple.
Racist.
Yeah, no kidding. And so, is this unusual? Yes, it was unusual. And it started, she's like, yeah, as far as I'm aware, that started around 2019. And then another question that defense asked was, basically Lori started calling herself a goddess. And that one also needs a clarifier because church teachings teach that we will become gods and goddesses later on in our spiritual progression. But apparently Lori was saying that she is a goddess now, not part of our teachings. And so and then when did she start talking about being the leader of the 144,000 in 2019? Did Lori explain why she changed her beliefs? And April said, well, she told me that she had some experiences in the temple that changed her views, and she ended up finding like-minded people, meaning Chad and his crowd. And asked something, I guess they were calling their group the Church of the Firstborn or something. I don't know, because he asked a question about the Church of the Firstborn that I didn't really understand. And then he asked about what were you and Lori supposed to do as the primary leaders, for the branch? You were teaching children about Jesus, right? Yeah. Did you teach that Jesus is good? Yeah. Did you teach that Jesus is a healer? Yeah. Did you teach that Jesus cast out evil spirits? Well, I don't know. I mean, they're little kids. Okay, well, so you taught them, a love of God and to be good people? Yeah. Well, is Lori's focus different now? Yeah. And then he asked, did you know Melanie Gibbs before this? No. And then what did you think they were doing, when they were asking you to join or whatever? And her literal words about what she felt that Melanie and Lori were doing while they were in Hawaii, they're visiting her literal words was that she thought they were subtly grooming her. Subtly grooming.
Really?
Yes. I did not. I mean, I didn't want to, because some of the other ladies that were there, they're personally invested in the case because they know the people, and I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I was just like, holy crap inside, just kept quiet, and I just, ooh, wow. And so then,
oh, what do you think about that one?
Yeah. So then prosecution got up to
we got a reporter here. You want to put something on statement? Sorry.
Yeah, no. So then the prosecution got up and did redirect, and to clarify that. Yeah, I know. I wish you're better than I am, Jen. My house is a mess. So for redirect, the prosecution wanted to clarify that when Lori's talking about being a leader, she's talking about being a leader of the 144,000, not a leader of this new group of people that she's with. And the new group of people is actually a podcast group. And is this podcast group gathering the 144,000? Yes. And then that ended the day. And that witness was excused. So it was interesting. Not really what I was expecting, because I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be going into the Charles Vallow part of things as deeply.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's what I was
as
curious about, like earlier, about like,
yeah. Hmm.
I mean, who's on trial here?
But now that with those four witnesses together, you can start to see the little threads they're weaving together to pull in, because like the judge said, this is not, as far as the three um, witnesses from Chandler, Arizona, they are not there to prove a character of Lori. They're there to provide um, evidence of motive, means, and opportunity. And the threads that I'm seeing them pull together, as far as motive goes, is the zombies. Because, well, that and Lori's affair with Chad. But that wasn't
But yeah,
really
that's
part
pretty
of today's
important.
stuff. I mean, that wasn't really a big part of today's testimony that I saw. I mean, maybe in the morning,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. But
Hey, look who's awake.
yes,
The Michael Malloy
yes,
Show. How are you, sir?
exactly that, Michael
Free
Malloy.
Sweat, how are you doing?
Yeah,
Cheatham County. Oh my gosh, Cheatham County
but
had a I was talking about them the other day. Sorry. Anyway,
mm, yeah,
well, listen,
but,
I'm glad you went and saw this stuff. I mean, it's really
mm-hmm,
it's different when you're there,
yeah,
right?
it is. It is. I mean, I
Yeah,
wish I could be in the actual courtroom in Boise, but yeah, maybe I'll save up so I can go do that with Chad's trial whenever that happens.
yeah, but it's like you do that, and I don't know, man. It's some of that stuff it's tedious, very
Hmm.
tedious. Um,
Well, if it's a boring day, I'll just go out and drive Uber all day.
oh, there you go, there you go.
That'd pay
Um,
for the trip all by itself.
so what do you think? Do you think she did it?
Oh heck yeah! There's just there's too much.
She's too pretty to go to jail. I mean, you heard that one?
Oh, I've heard that one, but I don't know. Her soul ain't pretty. Oh
Uh,
gosh, I because there's so much more. But like she's going around for months before her husband's shot by her brother, calling her husband a zombie, saying that he already died and there's evil spirits there piloting his body. And yet she leaves their handicapped child with him while she goes on vacation to Hawaii. And
well,
like,
clearly she doesn't have a full deck of cards.
oh no, she doesn't. Apparently, she's like it, Annie Elise with 10 to Life. I watched. She did a pretty good recap on her um, YouTube channel the other day that I watched, kind of because
Mhm.
pull together all the stuff that because it's been years.
Wait, what do you
I
mean you're
mean,
watching other channels?
hey,
You're only supposed to watch
you
this
don't have
one.
time to cover all the stuff.
Hey, I've got a lot of stuff up here. I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Um, I'm
yeah,
messing with you.
but
Um,
yeah. So,
well,
but it was
well, you need to
interesting.
go
It
check
seems
out
like,
Michael Malloy's show though when you're
mm-hmm,
not here because he's always on.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, actually, he's Mormon as well.
yeah. I remember that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
know. I'm giving
yeah,
him a I'm giving him a
mm-hmm,
hard time because he's here.
yeah. No, I get it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Um, anyway,
yeah.
um, okay. Let's hear. Does listener get a sense that she believes her religious directives?
Meaning, does Lori believe these directives? I
Yeah.
think she's gone far enough down the rabbit hole I mean, I think Chad started believing his own BS. I mean, it may or may not have started out as just basic manipulation, because there's so much in any religion, basically, that there's so much opportunity for anybody with any type of the perceived power, not even actual power, to take advantage of people. I mean, we see it with all sorts of things, you know.
No, honey, it's
But
who is she is involved in the Chad was killed, right?
no,
That's the
Charles is the
no
one that was killed.
Charles. Okay, Chad. Okay,
Chad is the other one that's her current husband, and he's the other one that will be on trial eventually. But he wrote the books, the Doomsday, post-apocalyptic stuff, and I think that well, for one, being a published author kind of raises you above a lot of other people in their minds. Like, I mean, you go up to an author and you feel like because they wrote something and published it, that they must know a lot. Like, it's kind of uh, just a subconscious bias. And oh, does
well
Lori have a
now,
profit? Oh heck yeah, Warren Jeffs. He's disgusting.
oh yes, I don't know who that is.
Warren Jeffs.
Now
He's
hold on here.
the FLDS guy. He was um, marrying 11-year-olds and consummating it.
Yeah, I don't want to know who he is. So this is
He's in
Chad right
prison.
here. This is
Yes,
Chad right
that's
here, though,
Chad.
right?
Yep, that's
Well, I
Chad.
mean, if I looked like him, if being a published author was, if it worked for me, you got to go
Yeah,
with it. I don't think
but I
I don't think
think
that works. Most I'm pretty sure that most girls I knew before the White Rabbit weren't very they weren't very well read.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, maybe
bimbos.
their reading level wasn't the highest.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
and then you have,
bimbos.
but so aside from being an
Who do you think
author,
I am?
he's he's also a priesthood holder. You know, so he can give blessings and stuff like that. Um, and so there's actually a recording he gave. So there's a particular kind of blessing. Yes, they are total whack jobs. There's a particular kind of blessing that we get once in our lifetime. It's called a patriarchal blessing, and it's supposed to be like overall guidance for the rest of our lives. And Chad, apparently, he gave a patriarchal blessing to Alex, Lori's brother, and there's a recording of it, and it is so cringe. It's so cringe because it is not. I mean, this is already, they're already down the rabbit hole at this point from just listening to it. I don't even know when exactly it was done, but it's talking about how Alex is supposed to help them with all that stuff. Yeah, I have a patriarchal blessing too, and in fact, I should go find it and read it. It's been a long time since I looked at it. Now I feel bad,
Uh oh.
but
Uh
yeah,
oh.
but it's just crazy listening to that and listening to the other stuff. I mean, there's some podcasts that you can find with um with Chad and on it and stuff, and Lori, and this is before they're officially together because they're both married to other people. And on the set of the podcast, they're flirty and it's gross.
Was Chad's other yeah, his wife when he met Lori was she a Miss whatever workout contestant or whatever this chick
I
is?
don't think so.
So
I
this was before he became a published author.
um no, he's been a published author for at least a decade or two.
Oh, okay.
He's been a and his um his children with Tammy,
Thanks
are
again.
all they're all grown up. They were all grown up at the time. Um, and apparently Tammy was wanting to leave Chad, but she didn't leave him because she wanted to wait till their youngest child returned from a mission. And
Which
I'm like, you never stay for the children, never. If you're gonna
yeah,
leave, leave
because
because
that
the
would put
kids
the
know.
you go on a mission at like what 19, right?
Um, so the ages have changed. Um, for a long time, it was the young men go at 19 years old and the young women go at 21 years old. And it was not exactly mandatory for men, but there is a big stigma, even now that it's been less pushed, of if a young man didn't serve a mission, then he's not as worthy as a man that did serve a mission, and which is
Well,
dumb because
my buddy, he's not worthy
I've
of anything.
I know people that have been on missions and are scum, and I know people that haven't been on missions and they're great. So yeah,
Well,
it's
he's not
19 for
scum, but
sisters, yeah, and 18 for young men now. Um, so, but yeah, I did not personally serve a mission, but I have brothers that have, and my sister actually did too. Well, some of my sisters did. Two, two of my sisters. Sorry, I have to tally up in my head because there are 9 of us.
I can't remember what my buddy said he would.
Hmm.
Um, I know he talked one time about like his kids, but I don't
Hmm.
think. I think he was against them, and they're young, they're really young. But he
Hmm.
was like, yeah, I'm against them going on a mission, but their mom wants them to, and I don't
My
know why.
view is,
I never got into it because I'm like, because I don't know.
well,
I
a
didn't go
big
into religion
problem,
that much.
and why I think your friend feels that way is that um, a lot of times the, the the young men and women are pushed to go on a mission for the wrong reasons. They're pushed to go on a mission because that's just the thing to do. It's one of those um, traditions that may or may not be the best tradition. You know, you're and they're not when really you should go on a mission because you feel the calling, that you have the faith and the testimony in what you are going to be teaching on
Hmm.
your mission. You
Yeah.
know, because I mean, it's hypocritical to go out there and say, "Hey, you should, join our church and believe the Book of Mormon and stuff like that," when you aren't sure that you believe. You know, and that's why
I
a
think
lot
it
of people
was.
end up coming back and being, going on a mission and being a scumbag.
Yeah. I
You
don't think
know.
it's a thing with belief. I think it's the people, maybe more like like I know like I mean this is with my mom, for instance. My mom is Southern Baptist, so her finding a church has always been a complicated because we moved a lot, so it was very complicated. Because they don't have Southern Baptists when you live out in the state of Washington, and so it's I don't know. It's just like I saw that as a kid, and I grew up. My dad's in my entire father's side of the family is Catholic, and I was like, well, I want to be Catholic because It's funny because the Catholic, the word means universal, and I was like, but
Hmm.
I want that universal, like wherever you are, you can always find a church. It's the same. Uh,
Same teaching.
yes, every Sunday, right? And so, uh, but like with my mom, it's so much more about like the people and the whole atmosphere, I think, stuff like that. And it's like, that's, I think my buddy he got kind of jaded, with, I don't know, Michael Malloy, his brother went to Japan for his mission. Holy cow, man. That'd be a wild place, I think, it's like, hey, I'm here. I
I've
mean, you
got
guys
cousins
speak the
that have gone
language,
to
right?
Russia and Ukraine.
Oh wow, that's
Hmm.
crazy. That's
Yep.
crazy to me. But no, it's just I don't know. It's of course it has nothing to do with what you came on here to talk about. So I'll stop. But it's
No.
no, I'm a big supporter of religion. I think everybody
Hmm.
needs that in their life, and that's about as far as I try to take. You're
You
not
need
supposed to talk
something to
politics and
believe in.
religion, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You need something to believe in. That's a good Poison
It's
song too, by the way.
well, it's like with AA, they have a higher power, whatever your higher power is, whether it's a higher consciousness of yourself or whatever. Actually, my sister might be moving down to St. George in a few months because her husband is thinking of going to med school down there.
Oh wow. Well, her husband could work on Michael Malloy. Is he gonna be
Maybe.
a neurologist?
I don't know.
Malloy might need that. He hangs out with
I'm,
me, so he might need his head examined.
I think that would
See,
be a psychologist.
no, a neurologist. He needs to have brain scans and stuff like that. See what's happening in there.
Oh, okay.
Much more psychology is more about personalities, I think, right? I don't know. Um, um, I want to share this channel on my Instagram. Yeah, I do have an Instagram, Creek Squad, and the problem is I just never got into it as much. I need to. Hang on a second here.
Yeah. Well, my Bluetooth is starting to die, and so if anybody has any more questions, better ask now. Yes, I am LDS.
Um,
I was born in Utah Valley.
oh,
Mm.
there you go, Creek Squad. I just followed you on Instagram. Let's see if this works. Oh, cool. Sorry, listen. I appreciate you being here
Mhm.
so much. I absolutely love you to death. We have a good time hanging out in the chats over
Yeah,
in
it's always
Discord.
fun.
I need to get into more. Yeah, I wish I could do schedules. I wish my life was organized enough that I could do a schedule. But it's
Yeah.
just it's like I never like tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just there's a lot of stuff happening. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, I put the Instagram in the chat too. I can't pin it because I can't get into YouTube. So anyway, but yeah, listen, we have a good time, and I appreciate also the picture,
Hmm.
the camel's milk and honey vodka. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's Summerland Farms or something like that. That's they're in Australia.
Well,
I
that
can't
is
remember.
awesome.
I'm trying to
The,
remember now where I learned about that vodka. Because I mean, I don't drink, but
you just it's awesome. I mean, it's camels and it's Australia and it's
hmm
honey, which we found
that's what
out
made me
that
think of it.
honey is in Greek is Melissa.
Hmm.
Isn't
Oh,
that
that
weird?
reminds me. I'm gonna have to send Melissa uh, a music video to a song that I like. That's Honeybee.
Oh, cool. By
I'll post it in the Discord and tag her
on by
so that everybody can see it.
uh
Steam powered giraffe.
oh no, I was gonna say Tom Petty, but
No.
okay. Well, hey, listen. I know your Bluetooth's dying, and
Hmm.
you faded a little bit there. You got a little staticky for a second. I was like, oh, I want to
That
hurry up
was
before we lose
probably
you.
when it was saying battery low.
Thank you so much,
Hmm.
and have a wonderful night,
Thanks for having
guys.
me on.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for wanting to come on here, share stuff with us, with me. I
Hmm.
mean, I appreciate you all the time. Guys, also with that, I'm gonna say good night. I'm gonna go to sleep. I think I've had a headache. Oh my gosh, listener, it's funny. Like now, it's kind of It's not as bad as it was, but man, one time you were talking, it was like right here. It felt like had a wedge. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what is happening?
Those are
And my
terrible.
nose, my sinuses kind of hit up right here. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh.
Do you know
But
your
anyway,
sinus points to rub? Your temples and then like inside your eyes and then above. Where is it?
like the eye, like that
Like,
was today,
yeah,
man. Like it was weird.
yeah.
I put my head down, my arm like this, and White Rabbit was like, "Are you okay? Do we need to go home?" I was like, "No, you don't understand." I was like, my forearm right here fits my eye socket perfect. So I was like, that's how much pressure it felt like. My arm wasn't pushing on it, just my arm. I was like, oh gosh. Anyway,
Yeah.
do you like to dance? We all like to dance, don't
Dancing's
we?
fun. I don't know how to
All
dance
right.
very well, but fun.
Hey, you know what? Everybody, the end of the day happens, something bad happens to you, you know what to say, don't you?
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold
Yeah.
pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out, I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got her. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop. Then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus,